Nice numbers, 66 games over 500, 22 ahead of the second place team, 5 straight postseason appearances, second American League Championship Series in 3 years. But getting to the World Series, the Cleveland Indians are going to have something to say about that. A ball club that wants to go to the World Series again for the 3rd time in 4 years.
And they're going to rely on some veterans to do it. David Justice has been hot down the stretch. David Justice hit well. He's been bothered by a knee injury, but late in the season he really started to swing the bat well, particularly in the division series against the Boston Red Sox. He came up with some big hits. Manny Ramirez has been hot all season long. 26 years old. He hit 45 home runs this year. The man out of the bullpen, the closer, has been Mike Jackson. Had 40 saves this season and was on the mound when they clinched the division series against the Boston Red Sox, enabling them to play the Yankees.
And those are the numbers for the Indians over the regular season. 4th straight Central title, 7th team in Major League history to lead it from wire to wire. They come to the American League Championship Series for the 2nd straight season. When you get to this point in the year, Kenny, the old adage proven true over and over again, you win or lose based on your pitching.
You certainly do, and the Yankees had the best pitching in the league this year. When you look at the numbers against the Texas Rangers in the division series, only 3 ball games, they allowed only 1 run to the heavy-hitting Rangers. They had that ERA of 0.33.
For him, you see the 18-4 mark, 15th perfect game in Major League history. From the veteran of the Yankees, you turn to the youngster of the Cleveland Indians.
Chance against the Yanks.
There you see the number against the Yankees, the division series 2-0, and against the Yankees this season 2-1. So there are the matchups. This is the best of 7 for Joe Torre and the Yankees. Darryl Strawberry will not be here. The story behind the straw man, Julie Croteau, will have it when we come back. In fact, over this past week has been Darryl Strawberry, who's not going to be here for the Yankees. Julie Croteau has that story. Julie?
Thanks, Gary. Last week, Darryl Strawberry was diagnosed with colon cancer. This weekend, he had surgery to remove a 2.5-inch tumor. He's in the hospital doing fine. He is stable, and the prognosis is good. In fact, we should learn by Friday whether or not the surgery was successful and if the cancer has spread. Darryl has been visited by many of his teammates, and they are saying that he has been an inspiration to them and that he will be missed. The fans have not missed his. The fans have not missed this either. His wife has thrown out the first pitch. The organization has announced him during the lineups, and the crowd went crazy for him. I had a chance to speak with David Cone prior to the game and asked him what this has meant to the Yankees.
That was the lowest point I think I've ever been during a team meeting or during that type of news being spread around the clubhouse. And we were just all dead silent, and then went out for a workout, and it was probably the dreariest workout I've ever been a part of. And the team was just completely floored by the news. But having slept on it and had a chance to talk to Darryl, and then we got his message, I think we felt a lot better the next day going into that game.
We had some players and myself, we went up to visit Straw in the hospital the day after the surgery, and very alert, very upbeat, felt good that the surgery went off well. But he's with us. He's with us. We know we can reach him on the phone or whatever we have to do. I'm not sure that he's going to be allowed to physically join us. Hopefully, if we get to the World Series, he may be able to pay us a visit.
In the act of solidarity, the Yankees have embroidered his number on the back of their cap, so look for that tonight. Darryl Strawberry is definitely with them in spirit this evening. Gary?
Julie, thank you very much. And a moving story, which obviously is something that will inspire this team and the Indians tonight. Also recognizing that when the announcement was made on the field of Strawberry, they left the spot for him. In fact, the Cleveland Indians were already on the field and applauding, and you see the 39 David Justice was wearing over there as we get set for the first game of this series best of 7, as these two teams are becoming regulars in the postseason play as far as being opponents.
You're looking at the Cleveland bench. They seem to be very loose. That's Omar Vizquel, their talented shortstop, along with Richie Sexson, their young rookie first baseman. So the Indians coming into a tough place for anybody to win this year. The Yankees won over 60 games here at home this season, and they have David Wells, who lost only once at Yankee Stadium, on the mound.
Let's take a look at the lineup the Cleveland Indians will have out there tonight. Kenny Lofton leads it off in center field. Joey Cora at second. David Justice in left. Manny Ramirez the start in right. Travis Davis at third. Jim Thome will be the designated hitter tonight. Richie Sexton's at first base, a rookie. Sandy Alomar the catcher, and Omar Vizquel at short. You see Joey Cora out of Puerto Rico. Manny Ramirez from the Dominican Republic. Sandy Alomar also from Puerto Rico, and Omar Vizquel out of Venezuela. And all of you in those home countries, delighted to have you with us here tonight. The man they'll face, Kenny, David Wells.
David Wells, 18-4 in the regular season, an exit earned run average of 3.49. He beat the Indians on June 20th in Cleveland. Worked 8 innings, allowed 8 hits, 2 runs, didn't walk anybody, and that is his staple. Does not walk many men. Only 29 and 214 in the third innings, and had 9 strikeouts in that ball game as the Yankees won back on June 20th in Cleveland by a score of 5-3 as David Wells was the winner. That was his only appearance against the Indians this year. Let's check out the Yankees defensively behind David Wells tonight. Yankees, 3rd fewest errors in the league. In the infield, Brocious, Jeter, Knobloch, and Martinez. In the outfield, Spencer, Williams, and O'Neill. Jorge Posada will do the catching for David Wells. And we have Shane Spencer, the rookie, out in left field. We're going to highlight the left fielders tonight because there's a lot of room out in left center and in left field. A lot of room to cover. Shane Spencer does have a strong arm, but his short suit might be the fact that he doesn't have all that much speed. So that might be a factor in this game tonight.
What a round of applause he got when he was introduced tonight. You would have thought it was Mickey Mantle's return to Yankee Stadium when Spencer was announced here tonight. Tremendous ovation for him. He's become a fan favorite in a hurry, Kenny, here at Yankee Stadium.
Well, you hit 10 home runs and only 67 at-bats, including 3 grand slams. They're going to like you anywhere you are.
Like a Bronx bomber right from the get-go. Kenny Lofton will lead it off. In close at third base, Scott Brocious. This is a speedster who will pick up a lot of bases if he gets on, in a very fine regular season for Lofton. Wells delivers, strike 1 on a fastball.
Kenny Lofton, 2nd in the league in stolen bases with 54. And an amazing note, Ricky Henderson at 39 years old led the American League in steals this year with 66, just ahead of Lofton.
So you want Lofton on the bench if you're the New York Yankees and David Wells, and not out there in the base paths. Check swing on that, gets away. David Wells coming out. You can see just by watching the first 2 pitches thrown by Wells the adrenaline flow already in this game for him.
And not unusual for David Wells, the fact that he's ahead of a hitter, 0-2. He'll throw that first pitch strike more than anybody on the Yankees staff. His control is excellent. Good fastball, good curveball, changeup, and a sinker. He has all the weapons to get people out.
Lofton 6 for 16 in the playoffs with a couple of dingers, and he's gone. Got him on the outside corner. So David Wells begins the ball game with a strikeout.
3 pitches and 1 man out as Kenny Lofton is gone. Here's the last pitch. David Wells pitches well to both corners, the outside corner and inside corners. The umpire is Jim Evans, 28-year veteran. And as you look at the lineup of the umpires, they go in order of time served in the American League.
A veteran behind the plate, and we were talking today about this fact. Joey Cora takes the pitch. Players these days, I suppose always, have to know the umpires and what their intricacies are in calling balls and strikes.
Yeah, Jim Evans is a type of umpire. I would say he's fair. He doesn't really call that outside pitch really off the plate for a called strike.
Wells' delivery is a strike on the outside corner. He's throwing nothing but pitches in the strike zone, and Cora will step out behind 0-2 in a hurry. That's 5 consecutive strikes, and Cora turned around to ask home plate umpire where it was.
As usual here at Yankee Stadium, when a pitcher gets 2 strikes on a hitter, the fans get up. They expect the strikeout.
There's the first one, not in the strike zone. David Wells, 25-5 were the Yankees in games in which he started. That is a phenomenal number. 30 starts, and they won 25 of those games. Cora will fight that one off, and the count will stay at a ball and 2 strikes. David Wells 1-0 this year against the Cleveland Indians, and 9-3 his career mark.
You mentioned yesterday the fact that Cleveland has a very good ball club the last few years. He likes the challenge of pitching against the better ball clubs. Well, he's got the challenge tonight.
Cora's 10 for 26 off Wells' lifetime, and missed high and away with that one. And the count will go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Cora. Wells won't walk many. In fact, he was the best at not walking hitters. Number 1 in the league with 1.2 walks per 9 innings. Nobody did it better. 3-2 delivery. Fought off by Cora. This is a good at bat by Joey Cora.
Well, Cora is a good contact hitter against a pitcher that throws near the strike zone most of the time. So you can expect Joey Cora to put the bat on the ball. It's just a matter of how hard he hits it.
He has not had a hit in postseason. David Justice waiting on deck, the number 3 hitter. Cora's gone 0 for 10 so far in this postseason. 3-2 delivery for the second time. And he's on with a walk. No sooner do we say he doesn't walk anybody than Joey Cora puts up a stupendous at bat and upsets David Wells.
Well, the Indians are a lot like the Yankee ball club in the fact that they will draw a lot of walks. They have veteran hitters who can be patient at the plate. And while David Wells doesn't walk many, in the division series against the Texas Rangers in that start, he walked the first man he faced and then didn't walk anybody else for the rest of the night.
So Joey Cora is on at first base. Here's the man who did the big damage to the Boston Red Sox in the Cleveland win in that series over Boston. He got a big double to put the game away for the Indians. Justice a chopper towards second. Knobloch, Jeter, relay. They turn 2. Yankees coming up. Game 1 of the American League Championship Series here at Yankee Stadium, being brought to you by MasterCard. On a beautiful night, 55 degrees, a little on the cool side, but just a perfect for a baseball. Fabled facade of Yankee Stadium, 75 years old now, opened with a home run by Babe Ruth in 1923, and the house that Ruth built still the home of these New York Yankees. And the winning 14 kicks it off here with Chuck Knobloch leading it off. Jeter and O'Neill will follow against 22-year-old right-hander Jarrett Wright of the Cleveland Indians. Hard thrower. Comes inside with that 1-1.
Now you mentioned a hard thrower, about 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He has to get it to good spots against this Yankee club. They will take pitches until they get strikes. Knobloch notoriously will stay up there until he gets the count full.
Yankees drew more walks than any other team in the American League. Alomar steps out a little bit as Knobloch's gone ahead. Baseball, have a player like this come along at the end of a year, and in most seasons there are 1 or 2 who do that. And Spencer's the man here in New York. Wright is up high to him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Texas tried to throw him a lot of breaking balls, and he had one in the seats for a 3-run homer. Home run dispenser. There's another one.
He had 8 home runs in the month of September. That's what sparked all the interest around Major League Baseball. 1-1 delivery on the way, and the breaking ball gets away, and O'Neill will score. And the Yankees have a 3-0 lead. Looked like that might be a pass ball on Alomar.
Well, I have to give it another look. If this ball bounces in the dirt, it will be called a wild pitch. But you're right, Sandy Alomar has blocked tougher pitches than this one. Let's take a look at it. Breaking ball, trying to keep it low. It does bounce in the dirt, but it gets through the legs of Alomar all the way back to the screen. Another look at it. Looks like he should have had that one. Although I kind of feel it's going to be called a wild pitch because the ball was in the dirt. O'Neill will score from third.
He had his glove turned the wrong way, looking for a pitch to be up, and it ended up being down. It will be a wild pitch. And the breaking ball misses outside to Shane Spencer. 3-1 count now. Nothing has gone right for Wright.
Well, the difference between a pass ball is one that a catcher should obviously handle. They'll usually rule it a pass ball. A pitch that's in the dirt and he doesn't handle, they'll usually call it a wild pitch, charged to the pitcher.
He had 6 wild pitches during the regular season, and he loses the batter Spencer on ball 4. He's thrown 33 pitches. The Yankees have scored 3 runs on 4 hits, a fielder's choice, a strikeout, and a wild pitch.
Mike Hargrove already knows that with 33 pitches thrown in this inning, Jared Wright will not be able to get near the end of this ball game. Somewhere around the 5th or 6th inning, and at the 100 pitch mark will show up. He's going to have to go to the bullpen, and he thinks he might have to go there earlier if the Yankees continue to score. The veteran Chad O.J. is up in the pen.
Paul O'Neill, who scored on the wild pitch to give the Yankees the 3-0 lead and be awake at third base with 6 wild pitches during the regular season. Runners at first and third. Martinez the lead runner, 2 down. Jorge Posada. He's had a couple of at-bats in the postseason, 0 for 2. Wright's fastball's down low. As Kenny mentioned, Jarrett Wright cannot get that first strike.
Well, you're looking at one of the young and up-and-coming catchers from Puerto Rico. That's Jorge Posada. You have the veteran behind the plate. MVP of the All-Star game 2 years ago, Sandy Alomar, also from Puerto Rico. Sandy pointed out to me, well, they got Javi Lopez and Pudge Rodriguez from Puerto Rico as well. The land of catchers.
Gotta love that. They're hard to find anywhere else. Coming up with quality catchers at the major league level has long been a problem. Guys who can withstand it physically, not only catch but provides a little offense.
And both of those guys are capable of doing it.
2-0 count again, right behind. Posada waiting, and he's got a base hit into center field. The RBI will score Martinez. Spencer goes to third, and the Yankees pounding away here in the first inning of Jared Wright, and he's done.
Mike Hargrove has seen enough. Now, he did mention to us if one of his starters faltered, and certainly Wright has done that, O.J. would be the first man out of the pen. And Jared Wright didn't pitch well against the Red Sox in the division series and hasn't got the job done here tonight.
You see the shortest outing of the season. He worked only 4 1/3 against the Red Sox, giving up 6 runs on 7 hits. He leaves here working 2/3 of an inning so far, charged with all those runs and hits. The Yankees already have a 4-0 lead. We're in the first inning. Jared Wright is gone. 2/3 of an inning, 6 base runners, 1 wild pitch, 4 runs, 36 pitches thrown. I think the payback's already happened, and Jared Wright was the victim.
Well, maybe the payback as far as hitting Luis Sojo. Also, the Indians knocked the Yankees out last year in the division series. The Yankees with only 4 outs to go to win that series. The Indians got a home run from Sandy Alomar to tie a ball game. They won that game, won the next one, and they got a chance to move on.
Chad O.J. on in relief. O.J. gets the strike to Scott Brocious. Brocious, the number 9 hitter, as the Yankees have batted around. Regular season numbers for the third baseman, who had career offensive numbers in just about every category. And he's got a couple of runners on here, first and third. Good off-speed delivery. O.J.'s best pitch is the changeup.
Yeah, good changeup, good curveball, and a fastball that can surprise you. Has a lot of movement. He's had an injury-filled season. Had knee problems early in the year in spring training. Strained a pectoral muscle. Was on the DL again. Then had a tendonitis in the middle finger on his pitching hand. Went on the DL for a 3rd time. He got healthy enough to come on in the late season. Pitch against the Yankees here in their last series in September. And took a loss.
Off the fists and foul back. So O.J. does something that Jared Wright couldn't do. He's got an 0-2 count. Wright could not find that first strike on Yankee hitters, and it cost him dearly.
He fell behind, and then when he had to come in, looking for one pitch, a fastball. I would bet you that every hit that the Yankees got that inning was on a fastball.
O.J. trying to get out of it here with the Yankees leading 4-0. He's got the 0-2 count on Scott Brocious. Tries to get him to chase one. He doesn't do it. Ball and 2 strikes. There's David Wells, who's had a long intermission. He'll take it. because it's given him 4 runs to work with when he heads back out there. And it is a cool enough night to keep that jacket on, keep the arm warm. 1-2 count on Brocious. Breaking ball. That's going to be a base hit into left field. Spencer scores, stopping at second base. Posada. Brocious the RBI. 5-0 Yankees.
Now, one of the keys to the Yankee lineup now, the middle of the order did not hit against the Texas Rangers in the division series, but players like Brocious, Spencer, and Posada, and Joe Girardi, who batted down in the order, got the job done to provide the runs that enabled the Yankees to meet the Indians in this American League Championship Series. Here's a breaking ball, but this one's kind of up in the middle of the plate. Scott Brocious, when you drive in 98 runs and you bat 7th, 8th, or 9th in the order, that shows you get production in the bottom of the lineup. And Brocious has been doing this all season long, coming up with big hits, and the Yankees have batted around here in the first inning.
Back to the top of the order. Chuck Knobloch, who started this inning off with a single and scored, is back at the plate again. Yankees with 5 runs on 6 hits. Jarrett Wright responsible still for Jorge Posada, the base runner, on at second. And Wright really numb over there on the bench right now. I mean, it went so fast, happened so quickly. It's going to take him a while to really understand just what the damage was. Vizquel, the core at second base. Knobloch hits into the force out, and the Yankees are retired. After sending 10 men to the plate, Jarrett Wright is gone. 5 runs, 6 hits, and the Yankees lead 5-0. Yes, that's pretty close to what happened tonight, as Jarrett Wright, 2/3 of an inning, charged with the 5 runs that are up there on the board, all earned, 5 hits off him, a walk and a strikeout. And now David Wells, whose earned run average is 3.49 during the regular season, has about a run and a half more than his ERA to work with.
Well, the fact is, if you're the Cleveland Indians and you're looking at the situation now, you're down 5-0. Cleveland has an explosive offense, and they got to tell each other in the dugout, we still have 8 turns to hit against David Wells or anybody else the Yankees have.
Ground to make up for Mike Hargrove's team that finished 6th in runs in the American League during the regular season. Only 3 faced in the first inning by Wells. Let's see if he's affected by that long Yankee inning. Ramirez, Fryman, and Jim Thome will be due up for Cleveland. First ball hitting Manny Ramirez, fouls it back. Talk about hot, you're looking at it.
Well, 45 home runs on the season, 145 runs batted in, both of those numbers 4th in the American League. Just 26 years old, a native of New York. And usually when the Indians come in, he has to leave a lot of tickets.
He can jam the baseball a long way. Fouls that one back, and an 0-2 count on Ramirez. Ramirez had this much talked about stretch, 8 home runs, 5 games during a period in the month of September. Only Frank Howard had ever done that, hit that many home runs in those few games. Back in 1968, Frank Howard did it, big hondo.
Yeah, there was no place to pitch him. He was hitting everything out of the ballpark.
Chopped down to third and foul. Wells remains ahead on the count, 2 strikes. It's a great situation for David Wells because he is a quality control pitcher. Now more than ever, all he has to really worry about at this point is throwing strikes.
And using his defense, but against Cleveland, he's still going to have to make some good pitches. I mean, you just can't be flipping the ball up there. They're going to hit it hard.
Ramirez 5 for 14 in the playoffs with a couple of home runs so far. Takes the off-speed pitch up high. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. The Yankees have now outscored the opposition in the playoffs 14-1. Joe Torre's club in besting Texas never gave him a chance. Yankee pitchers gave up a run in 27 innings. 1 run. Mike Hargrove knows all about that and all about this Yankee team. Haven't seen it in the American League this year. Indians lost the series to the Yankees 7-4. That one is into left field, and Ramirez is on with the first Cleveland hit. A leadoff single there in the second inning for Manny Ramirez.
The one thing that makes him such a good hitter, he's a very good low ball hitter. And most pitchers are taught to keep the ball down to try and get ground balls. Where you're pitching to Manny Ramirez's straight. Watch this curveball. He wants it down and in, and it's kind of down middle. And he's able to get the extension and pull it right through the hole between Jeter and Brocious on the left side. No chance for either one of them. A solid base hit to left field.
Well, Ramirez on with the first hit off Wells, and that will bring up Travis Fryman. Regular season numbers very strong offensively for Fryman, and he takes the pitch up high. He's had good numbers off Wells, 9 for 27 with a home run in his career off David Wells. Wells faces a good hitting lineup here with some strong right-handed bats in it.
Travis Fryman really likes the ball on the inner half of the plate. You might notice how close he stands to the plate. It's because he likes it there.
Off the fist to center field. Bernie Williams racing over. Fryman's out of there, one down. Ramirez back to first.
Let's look at this last pitch. I mentioned Fryman likes the ball in there, but Wells got it a little too far in with something on it. He's trying to fight the ball off. He does. Gets it in the air to center field. Long run for Bernie Williams because Bernie was playing towards left center, but Bernie can roam the range out there in center, and he made the play.
Though Fryman retired, Wells gets the first out. See the pitchers, David Wells there blowing on his hand on the mound. That's allowed tonight because the temperature is 55 degrees. Ordinarily, pitchers would not be allowed to do that when standing up on the pitching rubber. Jim Thome takes the pitch down low for a ball. Thome, the designated hitter. T2 has had a season that has been plagued by injuries. Although the Cleveland Indians played well when he was out of the lineup, they went 19 and 16 in games in which Thome did not play. But you don't take a bat like Thome is out of the lineup not missing. 1-0 delivery to him and a strike.
Yeah, back when Thome was injured in August, was hit by a pitch and a broken hand, I thought he was the odds-on favorite to be the MVP in the American League. He had such great numbers. He was among the league leaders in 9 offensive categories, but he missed 35 ball games, and that kind of shot him out of the water as far as that was concerned, but still had pretty good offensive numbers. Hits the ball well to all fields with power.
He's had 2 hits in the playoffs and both of them home runs. And Thome, there goes the bat handle farther than the ball. Martinez will make the play at the bag. Ramirez goes down to second base. Jim Thome is the second out. The barrel ended up behind second base, where it'll be handled by Jeter.
Another quality pitch on the inner half of the plate by David Wells, and it looks like a baton that he's holding after this bat is shattered. It's an embarrassing thing to happen to a hitter, have your bat shattered by a pitcher. And watch Tito Martinez. The only play he has is the first base, and he'll make the play on Jim Thome, and that will be used sometime during the winter as kindling.
It's almost time.
Yeah,
it's only 55.
Yeah, it's getting a little cooler here.
All right, 2 down, and here is Sexton, the 23-year-old rookie out of Bush Prairie, Washington. 6'7", 210 pounds. We were talking about Thome, who was injured. It was Sexton who got the opportunity to come play when Thome was injured and put on the DL. He was called up from AAA ball. In fact, he had 3 different stints with the Indians, but that created the longest when Thome was out. Sexton played the outfield at AAA, but Thome been playing first base, so Sexton moved to first base and played there for Jim Thome during that injury.
A good fielding first baseman.
And the pitch is taken on the inside corner. Missed. 2-0.
Gary, you mentioned his hometown, Brush Prairie, Washington. It's about 50 miles north of Portland, Oregon. And 50 is a big number there. That's the number of people in his hometown of Brush Prairie.
It's neighborly.
Yeah, and the big spot, the hot spot, is the Brush Prairie Tavern. So all of you out there who are watching out there in small towns, Richie Sexton might be from the smallest town for a big leaguer in history.
He's got a big cut to go with it. 2-ball, 1 strike count on Sexton.
The nightly special at Brush Prairie, at the Brush Prairie Tavern, is beer dogs. So,
Could use one of those right now.
Yeah,
that was a long first inning. 2 ball, 1 strike count on Sexton, who's got a base runner on at second base, trying to get one home here with the Yankees leading it by a score of 5-0. Ramirez, good lead at second base, 2 down. And he had a hold up on that one. The double clutch gets the ground ball. Jeter makes the play, and that'll do it. No runs, a base hit, 1 left on. Wells sets down the Indians. No apparent effect coming from that long Yankee. Beautiful shot from on high here in the Bronx, New York, Yankees Stadium, where the Yankees have the 5-0 lead. Been a fan for a long time. Right there, great grandma, 89 years old, a Yankee fan since the 30s.
Is that great or what? Wow.
Not unusual at Yankee Stadium. Neither is that. A Jared Jeter base hit. Jeter's on. Played back in by Kenny Lofton, and here come the Yankees again. 7 hits.
Jeter with a solid single into center field, became the only second Yankee shortstop with over 200 hits in a year. You have to go all the way back to 1950 when the Scooter, Phil Rizzuto, had 200 in an MVP season. So Derek Jeter with 203 hits during this Yankee season, had 50 hits in August.
There you see second. It's Scooter, Rizzuto, and 50. The former great Yankee shortstop Phil Rizzuto. 1 on, nobody out. Paul O'Neill. Jeter's 2 for 2. O'Neill had an RBI single. He's now 5 for 12 with a home run. There's the Scooter. Phil Rizzuto, remembered here in the Yankee Stadium Memorial section of this park. It's out in the bullpen area, way out in left field.
Monument Park, all the great Yankees that they've had over the years.
Runner goes, no throw, stolen base. Something else we were told, Kenny, before the game, the Yankees are going to run. There are 2 guys, Nagy's one, OJ the other, that they'll run on.
Yeah, they have the high leg kicks. Jeter stole 30 bases during the year. The last few weeks of the season, they didn't use the running game all that much, fearing that somebody might be injured trying to steal the bag. Well, now with the postseason upon them, the Yankees are off and running once again.
O'Neill with 2 postseason RBIs has a chance for another. 1-1 count. Runner at second base. Foul back by O'Neill, trying to drive that ball to right, and a 1-2 count.
Yeah, if O'Neill doesn't drive the run in himself, what he's going to try and do is at least get Jeter over to third base with 1 out. Against the Texas Rangers, one of the few Yankees that was really hot in the middle of the order. I mean, in fact, the only Yankee.
One of the most underrated hitters in all of baseball, I think. 300 or better, 6 seasons with the Yankees. Paul O'Neill is consistently good, and good in the clutch. Great RBI man. 1-2 delivery, lofted foul. Talking with him yesterday, O'Neill was saying, he says, I don't know how hitters go up and start guessing about what they're going to get for a pitch. He says, I always sit on a fastball. If he gives me something else I can hit, I will.
Yeah, I did the same thing, because you can adjust to the curveball. See, he was out in front, still hit the ball hard, but he was sitting on a fastball.
He follows the simple rule.
Yeah, just look for the ball and hit it.
Yep, that's what O'Neill does, and he does it well. 1-2 count. Runner on at second base, nobody out. Yankees trying to add to their 5-0 lead here in game 1. Jeter can get a big lead because the Indians are not even attempting to hold him. Vizquel and Cora at short and second respectively, way off the bag. See Joey Cora, the second baseman, wouldn't cover anyway with a left-handed hitter, and now Alomar's got to go out as he's having a problem with the signs here with OJ.
The signs get more difficult when a runner gets on second base because of the fact you don't want the runner out there to be able to relay the signs to the hitter and let him know what pitch is coming. Not only stealing the signs is difficult, but getting them to the hitter can be difficult too without drawing attention to yourself. Some players that bat near each other in the lineup, if I'm on second, this is what I'll do if I'm reading the pitches. I'll give you this, I'll do this, I'll lean one way or something, show you the location. And that's why they try and make the signs more difficult.
Paul O'Neill with a 1-2 count. Chad OJ on in relief. Scoop that one to second. Joey Cora off the bag, but he's out of there. Held the bag long enough. Good play by Sexton at first base. Going to argue about that a bit down at first because that throw almost pulled him off. He needed all of that length to get on that throw from Cora.
Well, remember that Sexton is 6'7", and he needed all of it to stay on the bag. Cora comes up with it, but the throw is going to be offline. O'Neal going down the line, and look, yeah, he's got that size number 16 stretched out to the max to keep that toe on the bag. Cora, well, one of his deficiencies over the years has been his fielding, and he almost threw one away here that allowed O'Neal to be safe. It still was a productive out because Jeter moved to third base.
Now the infield has to be drawn in already. Second inning with the Yankees leading 5-0. Cleveland's got to try and cut this run off. So the infield is in to make a play at the plate if Jeter chooses to head home on contact, which is unlikely here, I would think. We'll probably wait and see if it goes through.
Yeah, make it go through.
Bernie Williams had to hit his first time up and is ahead on the count here, 2-0. See the numbers through the first series. He got out of that 0 for slump with a single and an RBI in the first at bat in this game. The league's leading hitter, a phenomenal season for him with big hits. Rips that one foul, turned on it a little too much for him.
Yeah, that's what happens when the hitter's ahead on the count. He's looking for a fastball to hit, and although O.J. threw him a curveball, very same thing that Paul O'Neal did. He hit it hard but pulled it foul. He's expecting the fastball, got something off speed, but still Bernie's ahead on the count. Curveball, that one's kind of up too, and it is drilled but foul.
Yankee hitters are blistering everything, including the foul balls. 2 ball, 1 strike count, 1 away. Infield stays in with Jeter on at third base. Outfield deep on Bernie Williams. 2-1 delivery by O.J. A chopper, runner coming. Sexton's got to make the play at first or let it go foul. He lets it go foul.
Well, a couple of good decisions on that play. First of all, Jeter at third left when the ball was hit so slowly. He realized that he could score on a slow roller down the first baseline. Second good decision was made by that man, Sexton. He let the ball go foul. And you look here at Yankee Stadium, the grass is right up on the foul line. Sometimes that will keep a ball fair, but not in this instance. It took the hop, went foul. Now watch Jeter's reaction at third base. The ball is hit in top, and he has the type of speed he knows he can score, but Sexton lets the ball roll foul. Jeter has to go back to third base.
And the count is 2-2. Jeter with those great instincts. Ball's hit hard, he'll wait and see. Ball on a chop, he's off. Extending that lead as much as he can on the 2-2. Bernie Williams pops it up. And Alomar back will not have a play on it. It'll remain 2 balls, 2 strikes. One of the minutia of the game, talking about Jeter at third, Kenny, is that when you're getting that lead, the foot you want to be on when that ball is thrown to the plate.
You want to land on your right foot so you can continue on towards home plate, or push you off the right foot and go back to third. You are taught that in the minor leagues, how to lead off of third base.
Watch Jeter on the pitch here. What we were talking about with that front foot, front leg. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bernie Williams steps out, infield drawn in. Yankees with a 5-0 lead on 7 hits. Williams trying to add to it. Bernie Williams chases high heat. So O.J. gets a big strikeout, his first. Williams becomes the second out here in the second inning.
And with the second out, the Indians are able to drop the infield back. They don't have to worry about cutting off the run. The next out would be the end of the inning. High fastball after the fastball inside, changing the plane. All the other pitchers were down. That one was up, and it strikes out Bernie Williams.
O.J. now will try and work out of this inning without damage if he can get Tino Martinez. Martinez hit into a fielder's choice and then scored. Takes a strike. Tino Martinez, 25 or more homers and 100+ runs. 4th consecutive year that he's done that, and he's continued his output here in the postseason. Now 3 for 12 in postseason games. Fouls that one off down the line. 0-2.
Tino is also one of the top Yankee hitters against the Cleveland Indians this year. In 10 games, he drove in 9 runs. So the Indians are well aware of the fact that Tino Martinez, like a lot of the Yankees, can hurt them in key situations.
See the log being kept on every pitch, where the pitch is, what a hitter does or doesn't do with it. That one hit into left field hard, and it is caught for the out, saving a run. Good play by David Justice on the slide. One of the concerns of the Cleveland Indians was whether or not Justice would be able to roam quickly enough in left field to make these kind of plays. David Justice won, doubters nothing. Cleveland kind of used to these game one trailing situations. Bear in mind, Cleveland has lost the last 7 game ones in the playoffs. And they're behind here 5-0. Hey, David Wells, and what do we have here, Ken Singleton?
Well, it looks like a tribute to Darryl Strawberry, number 1, the 39 of Darryl, who underwent cancer surgery recently, and it appears that he's going to recover and make a full recovery.
David Wells will go to work here, having given up just 1 hit. Ramirez, the one, a leadoff single in the 2nd inning, was left stranded. Now it's Sandy Alomar. Alomar batting in the number 8 spot. First ball hitting, fouls it back. It's been a long season for Sandy Alomar, not in a good sense, as he had a lot of physical problems as he was on and off the disabled list, and did not have any kind of offensive production close to what he is used to having. He's a major league career .274 hitter who hit just .235 this year with just 6 home runs and 44 RBIs. A disappointing injury-plagued season for Alomar.
Yeah, the Indians were here the last week of the season, and Mike Hargrove chose not to play Sandy Alomar and resting him for the postseason.
1-1 pitch to him, a towering pop-up to shallow right. O'Neill. Alomar retired, 1 down. Well, I want to remind you of something special for you. Where can you hear live play-by-play audio of all the postseason games and view the video highlights? At WorldSeries.com. It is the official postseason website of Major League Baseball. Check out Ken Caminiti's postseason diary and his items in the online store. And you can send us email. Ken and I would love to get it right here in the booth. Send any baseball questions, comments that you got. Folks at home you'd like to say hi to, just log in and join us. www.worldseries.com. That's www.worldseries.com. It's a sight to see, and we'd love to hear from you.
Omar Vizquel probably on his way to his 6th consecutive Gold Glove. Only made 5 errors all season long.
And he's got a base hit. He had been struggling in the postseason, 1 for 15, but he gets a single here, and he's on with 1 down.
Yeah, I mentioned Vizquel going for his 6th consecutive Gold Glove, and on a sad note, one of my former teammates, Mark Belanger, passed away. He was a shortstop for the Orioles in the 60s and the 70s. Passed away today here in New York of cancer. And Belanger at one time had won 6 consecutive Gold Gloves, and will be missed. He was a great teammate and a very good friend, and had been sick for a while, and you know, it's very sad to say the least.
Those are a tough part of life. Vizquel on at first. Gene Autry, who passed away at the age of 91 this past week, was recognized here prior to the game at Yankee Stadium. They had a moment of silence for the great cowboy and the owner of the now Anaheim Angels, originally out there in California Angels. Established that franchise. Wells' delivery is way inside. Breaking ball that didn't on Lofton, and backs off, and Wells just shaking his head on that one.
Here's that last pitch, up and in, nowhere near the target as Lofton has moved off the plate.
Vizquel on at first. Lofton with a 1-0 count. Kenny Lofton, leadoff batter, struck out first time up, and takes this strike on the outside corner. 1-1. Lofton 9 for 25 lifetime now, as he's added 1 to that at bat in this game. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Lofton will draw the third baseman in. Brocious, he will lay a bunt down if you stay back on him and go for the infield single. Vizquel off first, being held by Martinez, and Wells will throw over.
Managers in the American League will use the 9th spot to place a hitter in that spot in the order with good speed. Vizquel certainly fills the bill. Stole 37 bases. Then you turn the lineup over. It's like having 2 leadoff hitters, as Mike Hargrove now has Kenny Lofton at the plate, who stole 54. So those two between them could really pick up bases in a hurry.
1-1 delivery, runner not going, strike on the inside corner to Lofton that time, and he's behind. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, David Wells makes it tough on him.
David Wells continues to hit the spots. He's been doing it all season long. Jorge Posada really doesn't have to move the glove very much. I mean, he crosses right over the outside corner. Right there.
Painted that one. Lofton hit well against the Yankees, 367 this year in the regular season games. He played in 7 of them. 1-2 pitch to him, fought off, and it remains a ball and 2 strikes.
You notice Posada behind the plate there, set up inside, made a little noise with his glove to make Lofton think that the next pitch is inside, then shifted back to the outside, and the pitch was designed to be away. But make Lofton think inside by coming close to him, making some noise. It's one of those old catcher's tricks. Probably learned it from his dad, Jorge Posada Sr., who was also a catcher.
Make sure Lofton isn't peeking. You see him eyeing up there. 1-2 delivery to Kenny Lofton by Wells. Again foul back as Wells stays away. And the count 1-2. But Cleveland here in this inning at least doing something they need to do, and that's get Wells to throw some pitches and not let him get out of the inning easily. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Indians obviously need an adrenaline rush here, trailing 5-0. As Kenny mentioned, a long way to go. They just want to start chipping away off Wells. 1-2, and he got him swinging, stayed away, and he wasn't close.
Wells has 2 strikeouts in the ball game. Both of them have been Kenny Lofton. Struck him out in the first inning looking, and now strikes him out here in the 3rd swinging. Inside and then outside. Moves away, and the pitch is perfect again. And watch the way Lofton opens up. It's almost as if he expects the ball inside, but it's not there. It's on the outer half of the plate.
Well, David Wells gets his 2nd strikeout, having walked 1. Still a runner at first base, with 2 down now. And Joey Cora. Cora drew the walk his first time up, trying to get out of the 0 for 10 that he is still in here in the postseason, and works against David Wells. Runner being held at first base with 2 away. Cleveland being down 5-0 at this point so early in the game takes the running game away from them. They can't go out there and try and run bases and create things because they can't afford to have players thrown out once they get them on.
I think one thing that Cleveland fans should remember, the last 7 postseason series, the Indians have lost the first game, and they've come back to win 4 of those series.
Strange number for a good club. Well, they run here. Throw down off the mark by Jorge Posada. So he let him go. Got a big jump on David Wells. May have been stealing on his own. Stolen base for Vizquel.
Well, if you're going to go, you better make it. And Vizquel got a pretty good jump. He takes a look back to see what happens with the pitch. The headlong dive, and he's in there with a stolen base. Had 37 of them during the regular season.
So Vizquel gets himself in scoring position with a stolen base. Now David Wells with a 1-1 count on Cora, who will look for his first postseason hit, and if he gets it, could get an RBI. They're going to try a pickoff. Daylight, he didn't see it. Daylight moved by Wells with Jeter, the shortstop, coming over. He won't throw unless when he turns he sees Daylight between the runner and Jeter covering the bag.
You're looking at the fielders. At first it looked like they might have had a play, but Wells, you know, when you're up by 5 runs, you throw a ball away, you create a little havoc, and it changes momentum. So he decides not to throw, but does tell Omar Vizquel at second and the rest of the Indians, we might pick somebody off in this series.
Breaking ball in for a strike. Caught the outside corner to Cora. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Oh, Wells with a chance for the strikeout. That'll bring the Yankee faithful to their feet. Stepping out is Cora.
You saw Wells shake off a pitch or two, and that's what caused Cora got tired of waiting and stepped out. Sometimes they'll do that and still go back to the first sign.
1-2 deliveries fouled off, and sometimes they shake off just to annoy the hitter and try and make him think.
Yeah, exactly. Cause him confusion in his mind all the time. What a catcher sometimes will do, put down a finger, and he'll shake his head no. In other words, tell the pitcher, shake me off. We don't want this to come right away.
Runner at second, 2 down. You see Jorge Posada catch it for David Wells in that perfect game he threw against the Twins. Moment neither of them will forget, nor will the fans. Wells ready, 1-2 delivery, and strike 3 called inside corner. David Wells, 3 strikeouts, 2 in the inning. 16 pitches, 13 of them strikes to retire Cleveland. Yankee Stadium, where the Yankees had a ton of wins this year, 62-19 here at their home ballpark. There's Donald Trump, one of New York's noted. You fill in the rest of it. Billy Crystal, the great comedian, movie actor, on hand here. Urban Cowboys. That was one of my favorite movies, right?
That was good.
I love that movie. Back to work here. Tim Raines. 1 pitch and 1 out. O.J. hits the first Yankee here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Raines 0 for 2.
O.J.'s going to have to call on some of the magic he worked last World Series. He was a big hero, winning 2 games for the Cleveland Indians. Also got some big hits, if I remember, against the Florida Marlins. This year, because of injuries, he's been moved to the bullpen.
They're really asking for a big night out of O.J. for Cleveland. Just hold the Yankees down now and give them a chance to try and come back on Wells, with the Yankees building the 5-0 lead in the 1st inning. Shane Spencer, 2 home runs in that series against Texas. The Yankees sweeping that series to move into the American League Championship Series. And the pitch is taken down low for a ball. The rookie had a walk and scored in the 1st inning.
Believe it or not, he was even better against the Cleveland Indians in 3 games this year. 8 for 11 with 3 home runs against Cleveland.
O.J.'s 1-0 delivery to him, a strike on the inside corner. And the young man who wondered if he was ever going to get here to stay. Kept getting called up, and opportunities, then sent back down to AAA. As we said, even though he's a rookie, he's not the typical rookie. At the age of 26, he's already had a lot of pro baseball under his belt. It's just not been at the major league level.
Yeah, he had over 3,000 at-bats in the minor leagues. And over the fence for Spencer. They're very creative here in New York. There's signs and logos.
2-1 delivery to him. Chased the slider. Good slider. Down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes on him.
Down in Texas, he was in the on-deck circle, and the fans behind him near the on-deck circle in Texas, of course, Ranger fans, were saying it's a dream. You can wake up now. He got up and hit a home run.
Not yet, he said. Gonna dream a little longer. Here's the 2-2 delivery to Spencer. Came back inside that time. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Set him up with a slider away, and then tried to get him on an inside corner pitch where Spencer might be leaning out over the plate. O.J.'s not going to overpower anybody. He's got to be able to hit corners with the off-speed stuff that he throws. 3-2 delivery to Spencer, and he does. Good changeup. Strikeout number 2 for Chad O.J.
Gary, you mentioned O.J.'s best pitch might be the changeup. Has to move the fastball. He's not going to overpower anybody, but he has to make the changeup look like the fastball. Comes out of his hands, not going to get there on time. You can see Spencer out in front, and he swings and misses. Watch him get out. He's trying to wait, keep those hands back, but he can't do it. changeup is designed to throw off the hitter's timing, and that one was a beauty.
So OJ has the first 2 down. Yankees with 5 runs, 6 hits in the first inning, no runs on a hit in the second. OJ's got a chance to set him down in order if he can get the out here against Jorge Posada. Posada came through with an RBI single in his first at bat, after having the 0 for 2 and the only chances he had in the series against Texas. OJ's inside on him that time. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Mentioned Jorge Posada Sr., who at one time was a scout for the Atlanta Braves and signed Javi Lopez. So he knows his catchers.
Pretty good signing, wasn't it? Lopez having a career year with Atlanta. Changeup missed away that time. 2 balls, 1 strike. Of course, the other series taking place, San Diego Padres and the Atlanta Braves in the National League. Winner of that series will face the winner of this series for the 1998 World Series. Joe Torre of the Yankees, hoping it'll be his Yankees to get there. The Yankees, of course, have been there so often in the storied history of this ball club, with all their postseasons, all their World Series appearances, and all their Hall of Famers and great stars. This has been another special edition in Yankee history. The winningest Yankee team ever. Pitch taken inside. 3 ball. No, ball 4. Walked it. No, he doesn't get the side in order. First walk given up by OJ. 2 down. Posada's on.
Indians have been to the postseason 4 years in a row under Mike Hargrove. And last year came within a couple of outs of winning the World Series.
Real close.
Yeah, he was talking before the game about he thinks about that sometimes, that how close they were. If he could only got a ground ball somewhere, they would have won.
That was pretty amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Scott Brosius 2 down. Mike Hargrove says, some days when I'm driving at night after a game in my car on the way home, I still think about it. And I get so involved in thinking about it, I say to myself, come on, one more. Give me one more ground ball out. It's the one he couldn't get. And the World Series ring evaded them. Hit hard and foul outside of third. Ooh, that bubble was ripped.
Well, the question to Hargrove was, have you forgotten last year's World Series? And he said, I'll let you know when I do.
Yeah, that was a good answer. Let you know when I do. Not yet. Obviously, if he could win one this year, that would take last year's loss away. 2 strike count, 2 down. Brosius, who had a single and an RBI his first time up, trying to move Posada around for the Yankees. And the pitch misses inside. OJ started 2 games in last year's World Series, gave up only 2 runs in 11 2/3 innings, and had a 2-0 record, winning games 2 and 6. Clearly would have been a much more pronounced member of this rotation had it not been for the injury factor this season with Cleveland. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Brosius, runner not going, drills that one to left field, but missed that a bit. That'll be hauled in by David Justice, and that'll retire the side. No runs, no hits. A base runner left on. And Brosius thought, just a fraction of an inch, and that baby would have been out of here. 5-0 Yankees. One of the world's great sights in one of the world's great cities. That's Manhattan. You're looking down towards the Bowery and the Battery area. You see the Twin Towers on the right. The World Trade Center. Hey, did you know that the Atlanta Braves first baseman Andres Galarraga loves to paint when he's not on the field? Shortstop Nomar Garciaparra, big soccer fan. You'd know it if you watched Baseball Max. Each week, we bring you highlights from the American and National Leagues along with player profiles, instruction, and more. Baseball Max. Check your local listings for the times in your country. US of A. This one, where there's a traffic jam down there somewhere. Guaranteed. Even at 9:33 in the evening in New York. And there's Yankee Stadium as you come up out of Manhattan.
On the Major Deegan.
On the Major Deegan up to the Bronx. And if you started at 5, you might be getting in here now. David Justice leads it off. Numbers for Justice in the first series. He hit into a double play his first time up. Justice just 1 for 9 in his career off left-hander David Wells. Wells has given up just 2 hits in the game. 2 left in scoring position by the Indians so far, and he falls behind on David Justice. 2-0. Wells so far with a walk and 3 strikeouts. He struck out 163 in 214 innings during the regular season. Justice went after a high fastball. Knobloch will make the play. 1 down.
And David Justice did not hit as well against lefties this year as he has in the past. And he always used to tell me that with left-handers he would hang in there and hit the ball back through the middle a lot more instead of trying to pull the ball as he does against the right-handers. High fastball. The previous 2 pitches were down. This one's up with something on it. And you can see Justice cannot get on top, get below it to pull it. He gets on top of it and grounds out to second.
Hit only 232 did Justice off left-handers compared to 299 off right-handers.
What the exact opposite is at the plate now. Manny Ramirez wears out left-handed pitching. Had a base hit his first time. Hit 340 against lefties this year. Grew up in Washington Heights over in Manhattan.
Real close. Ramirez with 1 down, nobody on, and an 0-1 count on him. Wells got it in, foul back, inside part of the plate on Ramirez, who, as Kenny said, one of the 2 hits for Cleveland so far off Wells. Vizquel has the other. 2-strike count on Ramirez. Ramirez continued his hot regular season into the postseason, now 6 for 15 with 2 home runs in the postseason, having the 2 home runs come in that series against Boston as the Indians beat the Red Sox, the wild card team, after losing the opening game. 0-2 delivery, had a reach for that one. He was back on his heels and Wells went away from him. 2-strike count.
Ramirez is only 26 years old already. He's hit more postseason home runs than any Cleveland Indian in history.
Doing the Rocky Colavito kind of legends in Cleveland.
Well, the Indians didn't make the postseason.
That's right. Yeah. They never made it there. The 0-2 delivery. Swung on and got him. Wells gets number 4 in the K department.
Well, it's twice this inning he has elevated a fastball. He got the ground ball from David Justice, and now the strikeout of Manny Ramirez. Up and in, almost a perfect pitch. Can't get around quickly enough as David Wells picks up strikeout number 4. Up and in, low and away. That's how you're supposed to pitch people.
Kenny striking hitters out now. 3 of the last 4 he struck out, and for David Wells, Yankee fans recognize the strikeout by hanging another brew. 2 down. A speed delivery this time in the inside corner to Travis Fryman. By the speed he's using to get that one up, I'd say he's had the other 3. Struggling a bit. Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, don't let that guy drive home.
He had to color the bottom part of the picture here. There you go. He ran out of orange crayon. Grounded foul by Fryman in a 2-strike count. Travis Fryman with nobody on, 2 down, a 309 hitter off left-handers, but Wells has the advantage here. Guy better start getting another brew ready so he can. He's going to fall behind Wells. Oh, 2 delivery.
Didn't miss by much. Almost another call to the bartender, huh? Just a hair inside.
1 ball, 2-strike delivery, and Fryman again takes the pitch down and in. You see why David Wells is so tough, though. Even the pitches that miss are so close. To take them, especially when you're behind in the count, which you usually are, is almost impossible.
And you're trying to get yourself on base because your team is down by 5 runs.
Veteran Travis Fryman, third baseman for the Indians. 2-2 count. Fans up for Wells. Not the strikeout. Jeter the stop. The patented running throw. Got him. Oh, baby. Derek Jeter has patented that move at shortstop.
Here's a look up in the air, much of the way a quarterback would throw off balance. He made the same play a couple of weeks ago against the Indians. He's done it again.
Yankees lead it 5-0. Noted for the great offensive numbers he puts up at short, but
great defensive numbers as well. Only 9 errors on the course of the season. You're going to see some great shortstopping in this series with Vizquel and Jeter. Vizquel of the Indians, Jeter of the Yankees.
Chad O.J. goes to work against the Yankees. Chuck Knobloch is leading it off. Knobloch has singled and hit into a fielder's choice. Bottom half of the 4th inning, 5-0 lead, 5-7-0 for the Yankees. Only 2 hits for the Indians. Jarrett Wright, the starter, out of there for Cleveland, and O.J. on in relief. Drilled foul. Wright lasted only 2/3 of an inning, gave up 5 runs and 5 hits.
Knobloch, I mentioned he's a career .304 hitter, but only hit .265 this year. He hit more home runs than he's ever hit in the season, 17. And a lot of people thought that he might have gotten a little home run happy. Had more air outs or fly ball outs than anybody in the major leagues this year. And he's early in his career used to hit the ball a lot more to right field, a lot more ground ball base hits and line drives. This year, a lot of fly ball outs.
0-2 pitch foul back. We were talking about that, Kenny, this morning. Some hitters, they start a season, they're not home run hitters, but they get a few home runs in a bunch, and suddenly the rush is on to be a home run champion.
Yeah, well, he had right after the All-Star break, had several games where he homered. And in fact, for a while, had more home runs after the All-Star break than Mark McGwire for a while.
That'll fool you. 0-2 pitch chopped towards short. Vizquel backhands it and got him. Speaking of Derek Jeter,
let's go back and check out Derek on defense. The throw. Not many shortstops can make this play. Leaping in the air, and the call at first base, and David Wells. Well, he's seen it before, but he likes to see it behind him.
Amazing, especially with the number of errors, only 9, and he is a star in this city and in Major League Baseball in this country. A lot more like a Hollywood star than a baseball player. I mean, he has a following around the country like you'd see for a Hollywood star.
A lot of screams, teenage girls, when he comes to the plate.
3rd in the league at shortstop as far as the fielding percentage is concerned. What I was going to say, what makes it even more impressive is as Jeter lofts that one to right field, and that'll stay in. Ramirez has it. Is that a shortstop with the range Jeter has gets to a lot of balls, and a lot of times there'll be errors on balls that other shortstops wouldn't even get to. He not only gets to him, he makes the play.
Yeah, that's where the strong arm comes in. A lot of times shortstops don't throw quite as well as Jeter. Vizquel makes a lot of great plays, but he doesn't have the arm that Jeter has. Now Vizquel can go to his right, but he has to get the ball quickly on the backhand and then throw. Jeter goes up in the air and launches from that position.
No one quite like that in the game. Bases are empty with 2 down, and Paul O'Neill up. OJ's doing a good job. OJ came on with 2 down in that 1st inning, able to get he gave up a single. Run was not charged to him, then got the out there. He's now worked 3 innings, no runs, couple of hits, and he's going to get help. Sexton, nice play. OJ over to cover. O'Neill's retired, and for the first time in this game, the Yankees are retired in order. OJ's getting it done, but the offense has not been there against David Wells. New York leading at 5-0. Full house at Yankee Stadium with the fans having a lot to cheer about early as their team jumped out to the 5-0 lead. You take a look at the famous facade. That's the front of Yankee Stadium. The name and the rebuilding work that was done here when the stadium was refurbished some 20 years ago now. and still one of the great hallmarks of baseball.
Yeah, Joe Torre getting something in that he saw a lot of this year. His starting pitcher going fairly deep into the ball games. The Yankees used the fewest relievers this year in the league. Only 334 times did Joe Torre have to go to the bullpen, as opposed to some others who went out there about 500 times to get pitchers.
David Wells had 8 complete games and 5 shutouts. He gets the strike here on Jim Thome.
That was the 54th pitch for David Wells. 38 strikes, 16 balls. Wow.
Thome, a .289 hitter off left-handers this year. Very strong numbers for a left-handed hitter off southpaw pitchers. Popped that one up. Second base. Knobloch has to come back in. That wind's blowing from right to left in gusts tonight. And that ball was caught by that wind, and Knobloch had to come back in on it. One down.
Joe Torre, using 4 starting pitchers in this series, has chosen to go with Wells, Cone, Pettit, and Orlando Hernandez. And Hideki Irabu has been moved to the bullpen, and he will come in if one of the starters falters early in the ball game. And he feels that Hideki can come in and give them quality innings for a period of time. Irabu, a 13-game winner this year for the Yankees.
But a man who's virtually disappeared on this club. Sexton up. I mean, Joe Torre tried to put a nice spin on it, but what he was saying was, unless I run into real trouble, he ain't pitching.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying. And I was kind of surprised that El Duque kind of said the same thing there. I mean, you'll put him in the bullpen, use him, or he could be a starter, an emergency starter if necessary. Foul the back, a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, Duque, of course, from Cuba, Hideki Irabu from Japan, and Graham Lloyd from Australia. And I think you'll see that more and more as baseball has expanded the number of teams. They're going to have to go worldwide to find players.
They are doing that. Scouring are the scouts to find quality pitchers in particular. 1-ball, 1-strike count. Sexton takes a strike on the outside corner. And the rookie behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Still looking for his first postseason hit. 0 for 3 with the ground ball out he had first time up in this game. David Wells has given up just 2 singles.
Sexton has never had a hit against the Yankees.
1-2 delivery by Wells. Strike 3 inside corner. 5 strikeouts for Wells.
Well, after that changeup away for a strike, you almost knew they're coming back inside to get Sexton. The book on him is that he doesn't seem to like the ball in. He can't get those long arms extended. He takes his pitch all the way over the inside corner for a called strike. The setup by Posada, yeah, that's right on the corner. My goodness. He takes it and he's gone. Posada's glove did not move. Ball, he could have blindfolded himself, and that been strike 3.
That's David Wells. Great control pitching run for a rookie. This is when you start to learn. He, like Spencer, the 2 Cinderella rookies in this series, will find that the second time around is a whole lot harder than the first time.
And especially nowadays. It used to be word of mouth. How did you get this young guy out? Well, now they have the video, and they sit right in front of the video in the clubhouses and look at every pitch that either somebody hit or didn't hit. The pitchers try and figure out how to get people out. Hitters try and figure out how to get hits off of pitchers.
Numbers for Wells, very effective. Sandy Alomar. Wells has gone behind or beyond the 2-ball count on a batter once. Cora, who got the walk in the first inning. The only time he's gone beyond a 2-ball count in this game. That's how much he's in control. Sandy Alomar with a 1-1 count, 2 down. 35-year-old left-hander rocks and fires off the fists. 1-2.
I don't think there's been a fastball in the middle of the plate by David Wells tonight. Everything has been on one corner or the other. And no matter how good your breaking ball is, or the best pitch in baseball is still that first pitch strike. And with David Wells, more often than not, it's a fastball.
Not what Alomar needs to see. Since the middle of July, Sandy Alomar has hit 191. 1-2 delivery to him inside with a fastball that jackknifes him away. A 2-ball, 2-strike count.
you know, I know you swing the bat with your hands and arms and upper body, but when you have a knee injury, you don't have that foundation. Same thing happened to David Justice earlier this year. You can't plant and twist and turn and get that powerful upper body going. And that's why you see hitters struggle somewhat who have knee injuries, can't continue to hit with power.
2-2 delivery, mighty close, just missed inside, and a 3-2 count. Wells thought he had that one.
Another pitch, as Gary pointed out, when he misses, he doesn't miss by much. Sandy Alomar starts the bat but holds up. Another look at it. You see Posada had to reach down just a little bit low.
3-2, 2 down, nobody on. Alomar grounds that one to second base. Wells went outside on him and gets the out. So David Wells has retired the last 8, and none of those 8 have hit the ball out of the infield. Mr. Perfect has got a 5-0 lead. Yankees on top 5-0 game 1 in the best of 7 here in the American League Championship Series. Gary Thorne, Kenny Singleton, delighted to have you with us. Major League Baseball Internationals coverage. We'll have all the games for you of the American League Championship Series. First 2 to be played here in New York. Chad O.J. on the mound, back to work for Cleveland as their offense not producing. He's keeping the Yankees off the board since coming on in relief. He gets Williams, Martinez, and Raines up against him as we go to the bottom half of the 5th. Chad O.J. had 1 start, 2 appearances against the Yankees on the season. They hit him hard, 7 1/3 innings, 4 runs, 8 hits off him, as he ended up with an 0-1 mark against the Yankees during the regular season on here in the 1st inning after Jarrett Wright was knocked out by the Yankees. Here's the schedule of games in this series. Tomorrow, Nagy takes on Cone. We'll have it for you, 4 o'clock Eastern time in the United States. Game 3 rather, Friday will be 8 o'clock. Saturday at 7:30, Sunday at 4, and then if necessary next Tuesday and Wednesday back here. Change-up delivered by O.J. has used it effectively, and Williams has a strike 1.
Bernie, like all the players from the Caribbean countries, are very concerned with Hurricane Georges a few weeks ago. Burst through the Caribbean, eventually made it up to into the United States along the Gulf Coast states and caused a lot of damage. Bernie from Bayamon, Puerto Rico. Ricky Leday from Salinas, and Jorge Posada from Rio Piedras, all with concerned about family and friends back home.
Great damage done in the Dominican in particular. 0-2 delivery, popped up behind the plate. Alomar back. Thought Sammy Sosa was phenomenal covering the games in Houston when the Cubs were playing Houston in the latter part last day. In fact, of the regular season was on a Sunday. On Saturday night, Sammy Sosa went to the consulate in Houston to help pack trucks and planes with goods to be shipped to the Dominican the night before the final game of the regular season that really mattered for the Cubs. That's what Sosa and some teammates were doing. Great concern. 0-2 delivery, and that one misses outside. 1-2. Williams, an RBI single in the first, struck out his last time up. 1 for 12, 1 for 13 rather, in the postseason now. Yankees 5 runs, 7 hits. Indians no runs, 2 hits. Fouled off again by Bernie Williams. First American League batting title, as Kenny mentioned earlier, edging out Mo Vaughn of the Red Sox. Question now is where Mo Vaughn's going to play. Is there any question about where Bernie Williams is going to play?
There is a question.
There is indeed.
Yes, certainly.
Hard to imagine he wouldn't be back in a Yankee uniform. 1-2 delivery inside, just missed.
Well, he came through the Yankee system. Been with the Yankees since he was 17 years old. Just turned 30. One of the fan favorites here in New York.
Why wouldn't they re-sign him?
You got me. I'd like to have Bernie Williams in my center field if I could.
So would he. Breaking ball again. O.J. has shown us in this at bat slow, slower, and slowest. Those decisions not made by a manager, made by those above, GMs and owners, about signing ball players and how much can you manage to pay for and who are you going to give the money to. tough when you have a great team like the Yankees because you've got a lot of players who deserve big dollars. 2-2 delivery, another off-speed pitch, nubbed down to third. Mercy Fryman the play gets it. Bernie Williams had some nasty pitches. You're just joining us now. The first inning was the big inning for the Yankees.
It certainly was. They scored 5 times on 6 hits. Paul O'Neill delivered the first run with a base hit. Bernie Williams, the second run with a single to center field. 2-0 Yankees. Jared Wright out of the ball game early after 2/3 of an inning. The Yankees scoring 5 times in the first inning and really throwing a wrench into the plans of pitching plans of Mike Hargrove and the Indians.
O.J. has done the job so far, but they've been able to do nothing against David Wells. 1 down, nobody on. Tino Martinez. Let me see what he's done here in this game. 3 hits in 13 at-bats in the postseason. Chad O.J. gets a strike on the inside corner.
During the regular season, the Yankees would usually take an early lead after you won 114 games. They led many of them. Take the early lead, and then they would add on runs about this time of the ball game to put it completely out of reach and demoralize the other team's comeback hopes.
Popped up, Alomar, and that will retire Martinez. 2 down. 6 in a row retired now by O.J. Yankee Stadium in New York with a great Yankee symbol behind home plate put in for the postseason, and the facade out front with the Yankee Stadium marker. Question whether the Yankees will be here. George Steinbrenner, their owner, continues to threaten to move this club somewhere over to New Jersey if they don't build him a new ballpark on the west side of Manhattan or somewhere in the city. On the other side of the city in another borough, the New York Mets saying we need a new stadium too. City of New York saying where's all this money going to come from? Tim Raines.
Well, the Mets at least have a location.
Their parking lot.
Yeah, they can build in the parking lot and then in return make Shea Stadium the parking lot after they tear it down. But that's not the case with the Yankees.
They've got a basketball court outside.
Yeah.
You can't build a stadium on an outdoor basketball court.
That's one of the problems. Not enough parking around here.
Yeah. 2-0 count. Raines. But don't kid yourself, folks. The argument's all about money.
And it's all about politicians now who have it in their hands. And it's going to be a while before if they ever leave Yankee Stadium. It's 75 years old this year. And I don't think in the near future they're leaving, but maybe eventually.
One of baseball's great landmarks. 2-1 pitch. Raines takes it down low. 3 ball, 1 strike count on Tim Raines. A 2 down and the base is empty. O.J.'s walked 1, struck out 2. Raines in as the designated hitter in this ball game. Flied out in the at bat. Grounded out rather, and the only at bat he's had against O.J. 3-1 pitch to him down to first, and that one will cut foul. What did that hit? It hit a rock.
Looked like it hit the ridge of the grass and then made a severe right turn. People might wonder why they're tearing down ballparks, and they're doing that all throughout Major League Baseball. We're going to look at this. You see where the grass comes right up near the foul line. The ball's going to hit right on the ridge and make that right turn. And reason being, with new ballparks, you have the luxury suites, and that's what all the owners crave. They are more money, more money, more money. They're money makers, the luxury suites, and you don't have that luxury here at Yankee Stadium.
Just can't rebuild to put those kind of suites in old stadiums. 3-2 delivery on the way, and that one down the lines, fouled off. San Diego, whether they get a new ballpark or not, the Padres playing Atlanta, they want more of these luxury suites. That will be on the ballot in November for San Diegoans to vote on whether or not they will direct some public money. That's the thing that bothers me. I don't care what the owners build or where they build it, but don't start asking for tax dollars. Raines, and inside he walked him. So Tim Raines picks up the free pass with 2 down. Second walk given up by O.J. 2 down. Runner on. Spencer coming up. Yankee fans Wondering if there's another miracle in this young bat. So, you know, that's probably not a guy who's going to buy a box, a luxury box.
Yeah.
But he will buy a ticket.
See, that's the difference. Some people feel they're pricing some fans out of the ballpark with those skyboxes.
I think that's already happened.
Yeah, that's true. But when you look at the teams that get to the postseason, a lot of them have new ballparks, like Cleveland, like Atlanta, and they can continue to make a lot of money in their new ballparks and get better ball players.
Cleveland's a prime example. Look at all those years when they were there in Municipal Stadium where 50 people showed up for games. Literally.
Were they
in the nobody?
Were they in the postseason?
Oh,
no,
never. 0-1 count, runner at first base. They get a new stadium, Jacobs Field, which becomes a habitat for Clevelanders. And suddenly they're filling it for every game. 50,000 people postseason year after year. Complete turnaround.
The Yankees here at Yankee Stadium in its 75th year drew more people than they've ever drawn. Almost 3 million. But other ballparks like Cleveland and Baltimore, they do draw over 3 million.
That one line to left field. Been a busy night out there. David Justice has handled them all. Spencer flies out to left. No runs, no hits. A base runner left on. Game 1 of the American League Championship Series from Yankee Stadium. Yankees lead it. Major League Baseball International bringing you Game 1 of the American League Championship Series, and we will bring you Game 2 tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, United States, East Coast time, 8 o'clock on the Pacific. Cone and Nagy will be the scheduled starters for Game 2. And the National League Championship Series will be getting underway tomorrow. That will be at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and most of you will be seeing that game as well as the Padres in Atlanta open up in Atlanta at their new ballpark. So underway all the way through the World Series. The jerk on the left is Steve Martin. Lauren Michaels, famous TV producer, Saturday Night Live on the right. Thank you, Lauren. Notice how he nodded, acknowledged that?
Yeah, but last week he had Cameron Diaz here, and she hosted Saturday Night Live.
And you were happier to see her?
Well, you know,
is that what you're saying?
Steve Martin, excuse me, but you know, yeah.
Omar Vizquel rips that one down the line, but foul off Wells. Strike one.
So that kind of a preview who's going to host the next Saturday Night Live. So look for Steve Martin on the next Saturday Night Live.
Got a chance to be hosting. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Omar Vizquel single. First time up and only time up. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Vizquel. Now 2 hits and 16 at bats in the postseason, while David Wells has walked 1, struck out 5. Cleveland's had 2 base runners on that have been stranded. Besides the walk to Cora in the first, a single by Ramirez and a single by Vizquel. Good play by Scott Brocious, who is in at third off the bag. Tag made by Tino Martinez. There you see the box score tonight for the Indians. Not much. Vizquel and Ramirez. And that's it. 2 singles.
Cupboard's kind of bare. So far there has not been an uprising.
Kenny Lofton, he has struck out twice. 2 of the 5 Ks picked up by Wells. We welcome all of you around the world joining us on the Armed Forces Radio Network. Radio and TV coverage has been historically there for troops scattered around the world, 56 years. And those of you joining us on the Radio Television Network of the Armed Forces, great to have you with us here at Yankee Stadium. Now the Yankees have the 5-0 lead. Breaking ball on the inside corner. Lofton, 1-1.
Lofton has struck out twice, has been completely in between. He doesn't know whether to look for the fastball, the curve, or the slider. Wells has not only gotten ahead of him on the count, made good pitches to the corners.
1-1, chopped that down to first. Martinez right on the baseline. Got him, tried to dive under, but Lofton couldn't get there. He'd have to have gone underground to get away from that tag, and even he can't do that. 2 down.
Well, the subway system does run near Yankee Stadium, but not down the first baseline. Watch it again. He tops a curveball, third straight curveball in this particular at-bat, and watch him try to go underneath the glove of Tino Martinez. Good thought, but he's going to be out. Tino wants to keep the ball, get the ball in fair territory, so he can get the easy out, and Lofton is out number 2 here in the 6th inning.
Martinez at first makes the play to help Wells. 2 down, nobody on. That one hit in the air to left field by Joey Cora, and that will be hauled in by Spencer. 3 up, 3 down. 11 in a row retired by David Wells. One of the few times the Indians have even gotten the ball out of the infield. New York leading it 5-0. They got them all in the first. And Sammy Sosa, strikeout king Curt Schilling, Red Sox phenom Nomar Garciaparra. They'll lead the Major League All-Stars against their Japanese counterparts. The 1998 Japan Tour will be played in Tokyo, Osaka, and Fukuoka, November 6th through the 15th. Check your local broadcast for the time and date in your area. The seasonal event. That one rip may be fair. Posada, goodbye home run. Jorge, you did it.
Well, it looked like OJ was just trying to get a pitch over the plate to start off the inning. He got it in the wrong place. It was turned around in a hurry by Jorge Posada. First career postseason home run. And that'll have everybody happy in Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico.
He laced that one. That was a Yankee Stadium kind of home run down that short porch right field, 314. Jorge Posada, who had 17 home runs during the regular season, adds 1 for the Yankees, and it's 6-0. Scott Brocious takes the pitch down low. That's the first run off OJ.
The Yankees got great production, offensive production from their catchers. The tandem of Joe Girardi and Jorge Posada hit 20 home runs and drove in 94 runs this year, with Posada hitting most of the homers with 17.
Yankees have now outscored the opposition postseason 15-1. OJ, who had held him down to nothing, disquieted by that slam. 8th hit for the Yankees, 6 runs and 8 hits. Brocious reaches, slow chopper. Vizquel, 1 down.
Different styles in playing shortstop between Vizquel and Jeter. You notice Vizquel has the sure hands, but he gets rid of the ball quickly. Jeter, with the stronger arm, can load up a little, take a little time, then gun it across. So 2 different styles, but they both get the job done.
2 great shortstops who've battled in this age of the shortstop for Gold Glove contention. It's tough to pick a Gold Glove winner at shortstop in the American League.
Well, I do think Vizquel is going to get number 6. You know, once you get that reputation, and he only made 5 errors this year, went into the All-Star break with only 1.
Jeter, Rodriguez, top 3 shortstops, I would think, in the American League.
Well, he mentioned that maybe Puerto Rico, the land of the catchers. Certainly Venezuela, the land of the shortstops, with Concepcion and Aparicio and Vizquel.
How about La Romana and the Dominican?
Yeah, but
they've produced, I think, 6 major league shortstops today. That one bounced in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Chuck Knobloch.
You notice the guard on the elbow of Knobloch led the league in being hit by pitches, and he didn't start wearing that guard until late in the season when he got hit in the elbow.
He was hit 18 times, fouls that one off. Only 1 Yankee had been hit more times in a season. That was Don Baylor, 23 times in '84, 24 times in '85. Knobloch with 18.
Well, you heard of wearing your emotions on your sleeve.
Better than the pain under it.
Yeah. She wears hers right on her face.
Wearing her heart on her face.
Exactly.
There. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Popped up. First base. Sexton's there. And Knobloch is the second out here in the 6th inning.
Now, one of the reasons that Knobloch is hit so often, right-handers throw that tailing fastball that comes in, and you can see how close he is. His elbow kind of hanging almost directly over the inside corner. And it makes it difficult for him to hit this pitch. Watch the ball come in on him. He can't get the barrel of the bat around quickly enough and pops it up.
There are some, Kenny, who say that that kind of equipment should be outlawed in baseball, that it's allowing hitters to get too close to the plate, to dive over the plate, and that pitchers come inside on them. It has no impact, that they're willing to take shots to the body and the elbow because they got protection on. Take it off them, see if they do the same thing.
In other words, he feels that pitchers to the outside corner would be more effective if hitters weren't willing to dive out there.
That's right. That's a pitcher's perspective.
I'm not sure. But hitters are going to say, if I get hit and I stand close to the plate and I get drilled, I'm going to be out of the lineup for a while. Mo Vaughn wears that.
Yep.
You think the Red Sox want Mo Vaughn out of the lineup? I don't think so.
A lot of major leaguers wear that now. Derek Jeter, 2 for 3, 2 singles and a fly ball out in this game. Jeter this time goes to second base, inside out swing handled by Cora, and that will retire the side. But the Yankees in the 6th inning, 1 run, 1 hit. Jorge Posada, 1 swing of the bat down the line, 314 plus away. Welcome back. Game 1 here at Yankee Stadium. Gary Thorne, Ken Singleton, and for the New York Yankees, the opposition's going to be wondering, hey, do you allow anybody to score any runs ever?
Well, 1 run in 33 postseason innings now for the Yankees. The team ERA is down to a minuscule 0.27.
That's scary.
It certainly is. If they continue this series is going to be all over quickly.
They had the best starting numbers among American League pitchers and the best bullpen numbers, and they're showing it here. David Wells, who of course had the perfect game during the season, continues to just pour it on here as Cleveland's not been able to do anything against him. There you see that .27 ERA in the postseason so far by the Yankee starters. So the Cleveland Indians, as we go to the 7th inning, will try and figure out a way to get to Joe Torre's staff.
They're going to have the middle of the order with David Justice coming up, followed by Ramirez and then Fryman for the Indians here, trying to get something started. But if David Wells continues to make pitches to the corners and getting ahead of hitters, we mentioned the fact he doesn't walk many. He's walked 1 tonight. He's been very effective, and this is the same thing he's been doing all season long.
David Justice hit into a double play and grounded out. 0-1 count, and Wells, that ball will be lashed into left field. That's the best hit ball by a Cleveland Indian off David Wells tonight, and Justice gets it. A leadoff single here in the 7th, just their 3rd hit, and still all singles.
Well, they're trying to go away once again. This one's up a little bit more. And remember, I mentioned that David Justice says that against left-handers, he hangs in more, concentrates on hitting the ball back through the middle and to the opposite field. And this particular time, he was right on the money with a solid base hit to left field.
First hit since the 3rd inning for the Indians. Justice is on. And Wells will now work to Ramirez. And one of the other hits, 1 for 2 for Ramirez. Ramirez 9 for 27 off Wells' lifetime. First ball hitting to center. Williams. 1 down. Cleveland's forced to do that for the reasons you were talking about, Kenny. They can't take pitches because they know they're going to get strikes.
Strikes and behind an account, so you go up there in the swinging mode. You know the pitcher's going to be somewhere around the zone, and you're going to try and put bat on ball, get yourself a base hit.
Ramirez didn't. No,
not this time.
1 down, runner remains at first base in the 7th. 6-0 Yankees on top, out hitting the Indians 8-3. Travis Fryman. Fryman, a .309 hitter off left-handers during the regular season. Takes this lefty's delivery for a strike.
Only been 4 fly ball outs, so the outfield has not been busy for the Yankees tonight. It kind of reminds me of there's a legend said that Satchel Paige years ago told his outfielders one inning, you might as well stay in the dugout, I won't need you.
And he didn't.
Yeah, and he didn't. He struck out the side.
David Wells could have done that in a couple of innings in this game. 0-1 count, one away. Fastball this time, and Fryman takes it on the corner. 0-2. And the fans again begin the rhythmic applause. 5 strikeouts for Wells so far. Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach. Delivery missed with that one down low. Good stop made by Posada that time, so Justice couldn't advance.
Earlier this season, David Wells had a start down in Texas against the Rangers. The Yankees handed him about a 7-run lead, and he got knocked out. He couldn't hold it. And when he left that ball game, he had something to say to Mel Stottlemyre and Joe Torre. Mel, the pitching coach, of course, Joe Torre, the manager. And Joe unloaded on David Wells in the press, something he doesn't do with any of his players. But he did that time, and 2 starts later, David Wells pitched the perfect game, and since then he has been almost unhittable.
Still is. 6 strikeouts. Fryman retired. But one thing about Joe Torre, and I think of Bobby Cox of Atlanta in the same way as you watch this strikeout, these are managers who run their teams. The teams do not run the manager.
Exactly. And one thing you'll notice that when the Yankees do make a mistake during the course of a game, Joe Torre or one of the coaches will usually, at the end of that half inning, will go down and talk to that player and explain how it should have been done. And he doesn't miss a trick. He doesn't let things go by. He's not complacent about winning baseball.
David Wells, 2 down. Runners first. Justice not being held. Jim Thome fouls it back. Justice not a threat to steal a base, so Torre will move Martinez behind the base runner with 2 away. Better chance, obviously, with a left-handed hitter up to knock down a ground ball if he pulls it between first and second base. Playing pretty much straight up. They're hanging the jerseys, and Wells finally caught up with the people hanging the 39s. They put 4 up in a hurry. They knew he was going to go by that, I guess. 0-1 delivery outside corner to Thome. Thome's 0 for 2. And the fans want another K. Delivery.
Well, you don't see that very often. David Wells dropping down, trying to give a different arm angle look to his little smile on his face as he missed low and outside, trying to make it even more difficult for Jim Thome. And this is something that he has learned from David Cohn and El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, who do this quite often. Drop down and go sidearm. From a right-hander, they call it a pitch from Laredo. From a left-hander, I guess it's El Paso.
1-2, and Thome hit the ball with a bat, I think. Nope. Hang on. Foul ball. Wait a minute. The home plate umpire, Jim Evans, saying it hit the bat, I think, but it may have hit Thome first.
He's going to ask another umpire just to get the call right.
Wells thought it hit the bat and should have been just a ground ball out. Yeah. I thought it hit Thome.
And that's Larry Young, the third base umpire. They're going to get it right, I believe. If he's going to ask another umpire, and it looks like Larry Young is saying that they did hit Jim Thome. Jim Evans, the senior umpire in this crew, 28 years in the American League. And that's why he's calling balls and strikes in this first game.
Jim Thome's been hit a couple of times this year. Did he get hit again here?
He went out on the disabled list with a broken hand, and that is very close. It looked like it was off the knob, He didn't react as if his hand had been hit. Usually you see a player grab for his hand if he's been hit by a pitch in that area. But Jim Thome didn't. But the Indians need base runners any way they can get them. So he's going to go down to first.
He's been hit by a pitch 3 times. He fractured his right hand back on August 7 when he was hit by Wilson Alvarez of Tampa Bay.
Now, whether he's hit or not, he's going to get first base. Posada's saying throw the ball to first, get the final out of the inning. But instead, Thome's going to go to first. Andy Pettit hit him this year. And now David Wells, 3 left-handers. He's trying to hang in there against lefties. And one time it put Thome on the disabled list.
He got hit on the July 14 date by Andy Pettit of the Yankees, but had nothing broken on that occasion.
But he did have to leave the game.
2 on, 2 down. This is the only chance really in this game. The Indians have had to do something, and Posada took that one on a bit of a weird hop, and that may have caught him on the hand.
I believe there was a cross-up on this last pitch, and you can see by the way Posada receives it. And he might have got a bit of the ball off the bare hand. Now watch him as he comes low and inside looking for something. And either didn't see it or whatever, and it looks like he's going to be all right. But he was shaken up just for a second. Either hit him in the hand or in the midsection. Or in the thigh. That looks like it got him on the hand.
Catchers don't like being crossed up. That's why. We talk about other fielders who make initial moves on balls, outfielders who really take a first step before the ball's even hit. Well, catchers do the same thing. They think they know where the ball's going to be coming, and they make initial moves to catch a pitch in a certain location. When it doesn't come there, they get caught short.
This is the first time since the 3rd inning that Cleveland has had a man as far as second base. Remember, I mentioned the fact that the signs change when somebody gets to second. There was a cross-up on the first pitch because David Wells had forgotten a bit.
2-0 delivery. Sexton takes it inside. 3 balls and no strikes. I think that's the first 3-0 count we have had in this game by David Wells.
This is an inning where Joe Torre and Mel Stoudemire are thinking maybe he's starting to get a little bit tired. First time the Indians have had mounted a threat since going back to the 3rd inning.
This is the Indians bullpen because they're getting ready if they can come back here. OJ's been on since the 1st inning. 3-0. See if he takes. Sexton does. It's a strike. 3-1. Wells, as we noted earlier, a workhorse. It's not so much how many pitches he's thrown as Kenny's noted here. It's where are they? Is he still throwing strikes? 3-1 count. Alomar's on deck. 2 down. 3-1. Pop foul. 3-2.
You know, with Richie Sexton at the plate in a run-scoring situation, you got to figure that the whole town of Brush Prairie is on the edge of their seats right now. Probably more people in this section at Yankee Stadium than in the whole town of Brush Prairie.
More people in one box.
Yeah, exactly.
Mel Stoudemire cheering on his starter. 3-2, 2 down, 2 on. Runners will be going on the pitch with 2 away. They take off. Sexton fouls it back. They'll come back. For Wells, the left-handers hit 245 off him. Only 7 home runs by left-handers. Right-handers 237. They hit 22 home runs, as you would expect. That's so-called by the book. Right-handers with the advantage over the left-handed pitcher.
A lot of home runs, 29 on the season. Most of them solos because he doesn't walk people. 29 homers, 29 walks.
3-2 count. Sexton waiting. Runners go, and he struck him out. 7 strikeouts in the game for David Wells. 7th inning stretch time here in Game 1 from Yankee Stadium. Bright lights, big city, big club. 6-0 lead. The Yankees is swept the Texas Rangers in the opening round in the division series. Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. They got 5 runs in the first inning. They've got the 6-0 lead. David Wells throwing a 3-hit shutout. Well, the Yankees have 6 runs on 8 hits, chasing Jarrett Wright, the Cleveland starter, in the first inning. Paul O'Neill down the left field line. Justice, Vizquel, everybody there, and no play. Bottom of the 7th inning, Paul O'Neill, number 3 hitter. Williams and Martinez will follow. O'Neill had an RBI single in the first, 1 for 3.
A lot of people feel that Paul O'Neill was the MVP of the Yankees this year. Several candidates to be the most valuable Yankee this season. But while Tino Martinez was injured, Derek Jeter was out, Bernie Williams spent some time on the disabled list, 5 weeks to be exact, Paul O'Neill was steady throughout the whole season. And at one time, Jeter and Martinez, Jeter and Bernie Williams were out at the same time. And during that time, Paul O'Neill had a 17-game hitting streak. And during that streak, the Yankees went 14-3.
He finished 10th at RBIs with 116, compiling another great season at the plate. Lines that one foul again. He is now a career .290 hitter with the .317 batting average he had this season. He missed the top 10 batting average by just 1 point. Juan Gonzalez at Texas hit .318 and finished 10th. And O'Neill, .317, finished 11th. 1-2 count. Chad O.J. on in relief since the first inning. He has given up only 1 run. Breaking ball is inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Indians had their bullpen busy, but it looks like Chad O.J. has done his job tonight. He's given up 1 run since coming on in the first inning. And that was the home run to Posada leading off the 6th. So what he's been able to do is keep the other guys in the bullpen and rested.
Could have been a disaster, Kenny. Had O.J. come on and not been effective, and they had to go 3, 4, or 5 deep in the bullpen in Game 1, that would have been an even worse scenario for the Indians.
Pretty good line, 5 1/3, 3 hits to 1 run, the home run to Posada, a couple of walks, couple of strikeouts.
Mike Hargrove, as we said, used to seeing this happen to his ball club in games 1 of series, not having won in the last 7 game 1s. O'Neill's going to have another base hit. Off the wall. Ramirez, throw coming in, not in time. O'Neill picks up the double leading off the 7th.
A lot of pitchers think that eventually coming inside to Paul O'Neill is a good thing to do. Now, he likes the ball out over the plate, but every once in a while they try to sneak a fastball or a cutter in on the hands, and they're not quite quick enough. Fast with the bat, pulls it towards the corner, and this will be a 2-base hit despite the fact that Manny Ramirez gets this ball in pretty quickly and with a strong arm.
He led the Yankees with 40 doubles during the regular season. Adds another here. That chart kept by Cleveland coaches on their pitchers, now showing 9 hits for the Yankees. Chad O.J. with the leadoff man on faces Bernie Williams, 1 for 3. The RBI single came in the first inning. That remains Bernie Williams' only hit so far in 14 postseason at-bats.
I mentioned earlier the Yankees usually took the lead early in a ball game, relied on their pitching to hold the opposition down, then started scoring runs about this time of the game to make sure the game went into the win column. They added a run last inning on the home run by Posada. They have another potential run out there at second with nobody out.
1-0 delivery, and Williams makes the pitch down low, so he's ahead on the count, 2-0. Joe Torre telling us tonight before the game, and asked, are you worried about Bernie Williams not hitting here so far in the postseason? Torre said no. Just happens to be that he's gone into a little slump now rather than some other time. Torrey was very confident when the hits are needed he'd come through, and he did in the first inning, picking up the RBI single.
I think in Bernie's case, the fact that he won the batting title and went down to the last day, there's a lot of pressure on him in the last week to get hits, and he did. So maybe just a little bit of relief here, and now the pressure's back on in the postseason. He has to jump right back into it.
He'll have to step out here as O.J. steps off.
But in the meanwhile, with Bernie not hitting, the Yankees have actually won 10 games in a row. You go back to the regular season. They finished off with a 7-game winning streak, and then won 3 in a row against the Rangers in the division series.
2-0 delivery to Bernie Williams, but that really, Kenny, that's what this ball club's all about. It's the fact that throughout the entire course of the year, when somebody was down, somebody else was up.
They have a very productive lineup. We heard Mike Hargrove mention that 1 through 9, they can hurt you. Andy Pettitte came up big in a ball game against the Rangers in the division series.
Jeter, this strong year, both offense and defense. That one to left field towards the gap. Justice won't get it. One hop off the wall. Paul O'Neill will score. Back-to-back doubles, and the Yankees have a 7-0 lead. Yes, Joe Torre knew what he was talking about.
Well, when you hit 339 and you lead All-American League hitters, eventually you're going to start swinging the bat well again, and that's only going to spell trouble for the opposition. And in this case, it spells trouble for Chad O.J., who up to this inning had done a pretty good job. I think he just ran out of gas and couldn't retire O'Neill and Williams. Both solid hits, and the Yankees now have added the extra point, lead 7-0.
Bernie Williams now with 2 RBIs in the game, a single in the first and a double here in the 7th inning, and O.J.'s out of there with the Yankees up. Paul Beeston, day-to-day operations of Major League Baseball, run by that man who is the president and chief operating officer of the game. Bud Selig, of course, taking over as commissioner of Major League Baseball this year. Paul Beeston in charge of day-to-day, and a good one. Well, O.J. did his job, but he came on with the team already down 5-0, charged with 2 runs, responsible for Williams, who's on at second base.
Paul Beeston will have company tomorrow, as the commissioner will be here at the ball game. Bud Selig.
Veteran Jim Poole, see the numbers for Jim Poole, comes on to be the 3rd pitcher with a runner on at second, Williams, and nobody out. Tino Martinez had an 0 for 3, and the left-hander's pitch is inside for a ball.
I don't see anybody warming up in the Cleveland bullpen, but the Yankees, the next 3 hitters, next 4, all can hit from the right side.
Tino Martinez, chance for an RBI if he can find a base hit here. Hit 268 off left-handers this year. And Poole gets the pitch in. 1 ball, 1 strike. For the Yankees tonight, they have had all the offense. 2 RBIs for Bernie Williams, 2 for Jorge Posada. Brocious adding an RBI. O'Neill up and down the lineup, especially top and bottom. Productive. Grounded foul outside of first. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Tino trying to pull the ball and move Bernie Williams over to third base if he doesn't drive him in with a base hit. Setting it up for the next guy in the lineup, who would be Tim Raines, who is on deck. Yankees all season long, when they made outs and men were on base, they were usually productive outs where they would advance the base runners to set it up for the next hitter.
Martinez trying to add to the 7-0 lead. Outside corner called strike, and Poole comes on and gets Martinez. 1 away.
Not much that Martinez could do about this pitch. Target is low and away, and the ball will just drop into the glove. So he does not move the runner over to third base. Pitch might have been a little bit outside. We'll look at it again. Jim Poole facing the left-hander. They're going to leave him in there, leave him in the ball game with nobody warming up. There is a right-hander up now, but with Raines the switch hitter, then Spencer, and then Posada another switch hitter. This is why it's good to have switch hitters in your lineup. You don't burn your bench up by sending pinch hitters up there.
Tim Raines, the switch hitter, with Williams on at second base and one away. And Jim Poole, ball one as he missed that one down low. For Raines this season against left-handers, he hit .307, batting from the right side of the plate. He is 3 for 8 lifetime against Poole. Raines hit .278 when he batted left-handed. Willie Randolph, the man you're looking through there, as he keeps an eye on Williams at second base. And it's down low by Poole and a 2-0 count on Raines.
Raines, another one of the veteran Yankee hitters who will just eat up pitches when he's at the plate. Now, he had a long history of being one of the best leadoff men in the history of the game. Stole his 800th base this year. Only 4 of the players in the history of the game have stolen more bases than that.
55 walks and only 49 strikeouts during the regular season for Tim Raines. 2 ball, no strike count. Williams at second base gets a big lead. Raines the chopper to third, and that is a foul ball. Travis Fryman, just in case, making the play. And Raines will come back to the plate.
This is Travis Fryman's first year with the Cleveland Indians. He came over in a trade prior to the start of the season with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks got Matt Williams. The Indians thought they would get comparable numbers from a longtime veteran, Matt Williams, sending him his way, so they got younger at the position and got a better year from Fryman because Williams was injured this year down in Arizona. So they thought they got younger and would get comparable numbers from Travis Fryman, and they actually got a better year.
A better year. Yep. Big disappointment, the Diamondbacks, for Matt Williams offensively. There's a club that actually thought they might play 500 in their first year. Welcome to the majors. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and that one misses inside. Jackknifed away. Good play by Alomar to hold Williams at second base. And a 3-ball, 1 strike count now on Raines.
That's Louis Isaac, the bullpen coach, and that's Michael Jackson, or Mike Jackson, don't call me Michael, sitting out in the bullpen. Just exercising that arm. He and Paul Ossenmacher, the left-hander out there in the bullpen, those two have made the most appearances in the 90s out of the bullpen. Ossenmacher's number 1 and Jackson's number 2.
And the way the starters are going right now for Cleveland, they're going to get more action. That's going to be it for Poole as he surrenders the walk to Raines. So he faces 2 hitters, striking out Martinez, walking Tim Raines, and now with Spencer coming up, the power hitting rookie wants to get the left-hander out of there as Hargrove is out, and so is Jim Poole. Yankees lead at 7-0. They've got 2 on here in the bottom half of the 7th inning with the run already in. The world-famous George Washington Bridge connecting the island of Manhattan to New Jersey, crossing the Hudson River in all its splendor. But if you don't have money for the toll, don't even try it. The 1998 World Series will be beginning in the American League ballpark. Game 1 will be October 17 at 7:30, and there's the remainder of the schedule. We will have all of that for you as part of Baseball International's coverage of the postseason. George Steinbrenner on the right, the owner of the Yankees, hoping his club can get back there. They have won 23 World Series in the fabled history of the Yankees.
25th year that George Steinbrenner has owned the Yankees, and over those 25 years they've had the best record in baseball, and he's very proud of that. He should be.
Should be. We will get a new pitcher and a new hitter. The veteran right-hander Steve Reed, 32 years old.
Former Colorado Rocky. And the Indians got him from the Giants this year. And fairly big deal during the course of the season. Jacob Cruz, came over with him, and they sent Al Mormon, Sean Dunston, and Jose Mesa to the Giants.
So the first postseason at bat is the result of all of this for Ricky Leday. He will come on for Spencer. Shane Spencer, the young phenom, had a walk and struck out and flied out in his 3 plate appearances. There's the young man whose first postseason at bat ended up being a home run, which was just part of the season for him.
2 reasons for the move by Joe Torre. He gets a left-handed hitter up there in Leday, but he also Leday's going to stay in there and play defensively in left field. He's an excellent outfielder.
So Reed working to Leday, who first ball swings and fouls it off. Strike 1. 1 down. Yankees have 2 on. Bernie Williams, the lead runner at second, at an RBI double. Raines has drawn the walk. The Yankees have picked up 4 walks in this ball game. Wells has given up only 1 to the Indians. Willie Davis will be seen as a designated hitter in this series. Leday, towering fly ball to center. Lofton puts that one away, and the runners go back, and there are 2 down.
Another reason for Leday coming to the plate, you might have seen Steve Reed's delivery. He can be very tough on right-handed hitters with that side-wielding style. And Joe Torre may be thinking of the youngster Spencer. Said, well, we don't want to give him a look at this, and get him to the situation where his confidence might be shaken. Here's Ricky Leday at his swing. Fastball looked like maybe a little cutter towards the middle of the plate, and he popped it up. Nope, that didn't get out of here. Got a rise out of everybody on the bench there. He had a good swing at it.
A pretty big cut. He's got one of those long home run cuts. Jorge Posada, speaking of home runs, delivered his first postseason homer in the 6th inning. Takes a strike on the inside corner. Big night for the Yankee catcher. Single, home run, and a walk, so he's been on all 3 plate appearances.
Yeah, this was the first pitch of the 6th inning, and Chad Oj wasn't getting it back. It was a souvenir down the right field line.
Off-speed delivery by Reed, misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yankees with a run in here in the 7th on the leadoff back-to-back doubles by O'Neill and Williams. David Wells, no runs on 3 hits against him. Has got it in Cruz right now with a 7-0 lead. More so if they can add to it. Missed outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Reed this year, right-handers hit 273 off him. Left-handers 244. Can be touched up for the long ball. Checking the runner at second base, Williams. Off-speed pitch, and he missed. 3-1. Joe Torre's not had to do a lot of managing here in this game.
It's Bartolo Colon standing next to Jim Poole, or sitting next to Jim Poole, who is standing at the far end of the dugout.
That one drilled to right field. Way back. Posada's going to miss 2 by that much. Ramirez hauls it in. He had the Yankee bench up on that one. Going for his 2nd home run of the ball game, but not quite. Yankees out of there, they get a run. A couple of hits. 2 left on. Fans on their feet, as was Posada watching, hoping, but nope. Yankee Stadium will be the site for Game 2 of this American League Championship Series. We'll have it for you tomorrow. Major League Baseball International's coverage will be at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. And David Cohn will be starting for the Yankees. Charles Nagy will be on the mound for the Cleveland Indians. 4 o'clock Eastern. The 1996 world champion New York Yankees, with Joe Torre in the middle, hoping to be able to take another world champion picture at the end of this season. Starting out here in this series with a 7-0 lead. Ricky Leday will stay in the ball game. Spencer out. He'll play in left field for Spencer. David Wells right where he's been all night, on the mound and on the money. 8th inning. And just missed with that one down low to Sandy Alomar. Alomar's had the 0 for 2. He'll be followed by Vizquel, then the top of the order, Kenny Lofton. Only 4 base runners left on by Cleveland, 3 in scoring position. They've had only 3 hits, all singles. Wells has walked 1 and struck out 7.
Well, you know, as a player, your team has had a tough night. As we look at Jeff Nelson, the right-hander warming up, and the left-hander is Mike Stanton. As a player and a hitter, you know you've had a tough night. When you get to the 8th inning of a ball game, you've only been up twice, and that's Sandy Alomar.
It has been a long night for them against the man who beat him in the game this year, David Wells, and his 9-3 lifetime against Cleveland. David Wells' mark at home this year, Kenny, you saw the Yankees a lot. He was 11-1 here at Yankee Stadium, and his ERA at home was a good run per game less than it was on the road. This ballpark a very comfortable place for this left-hander. Swung on and missed. Alomar chasing 2-2.
Well, there's a lot of room in center and left center field here, and if you have a lot of right-handed hitters in the lineup against you, as usually the managers will stack their lineup with righties, a lot of fly balls. It might be home runs in other ballparks. Do not go here. Here's a look at the last pitch. Fastball out. Looked like Alomar was looking for a pitch inside. He's going to get one here.
Off the fist, fouled it off outside of first, no play. 2-2.
It shows you how one pitch sets up the other. Fastball away. It looked like he was looking in, and he swung and missed. Next one's inside, and he can't get around on it. Now he's in that, what the hitters say, in between. I'm looking out, but the ball's in, and he fouls it off.
Indians have been set down and made quiet by 35-year-old left-hander David Wells. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Alomar, and a towering pop up at the plate. Posada's got room, and the ball. Alomar retired, 1 away in the 8th inning. We talked earlier about the fact he never walks anybody. He gave up that walk to the second batter he faced, Joey Cora, and you said at the time he'd done that before. Didn't give up anything else. He hasn't walked anybody else.
Yeah, he walked the first man he faced in a division series game against the Texas Rangers, and then went on to strike out 9, not walk anybody else during that contest, and shut the Rangers out for 8 innings. And Mariano Rivera came on in the 9th, picked up a save.
1 away. Vizquel to center field. Williams started back. He'll drift back in. 2 down. Vizquel 1 for 3. He has walked 4. That's the most walks surrendered in a game this year. 1 game. He did that once early in the season. There's Rivera staying warm.
Might not get this cool in Panama.
Might not. 55 at game time tonight. It's a fall classic, the World Series, and it's fall. 2 down, nobody on. Kenny Lofton, the leadoff batter, struck out twice and lined out to first. And an inside corner strike. Oh, Lofton having no luck off Wells in this game, even though he was 9 for 24 against him coming into the ball game. Oh, 1 delivery. We were talking today, remembering last year in Cleveland, World Series, batting practice in the snow.
Oh, yeah. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
They played Christmas carols during Cleveland's batting practice last year in the World Series. A memory. Here's the 1-1. Strike on the outside corner, 1-2.
With the Yankees clinching way back on September 9th, it enabled Joe Torre and his coaching staff to really set the team up for postseason. Get their pitchers all rested, get some veterans that have been in the lineup day in and day out rested, and everything seems to work perfectly to this point.
Wells, who has had as many as 13 strikeouts in a game this year, looking for his 8th strikeout. 1-2 delivery. He Laredo'd that one, but it went a little too far south on him. 2-2. He's having fun now.
Well, it's only second time he's done it. You only see him do this against left-handed hitters. And it's more, not only to show him a different arm angle, maybe to get him to chase a bad pitch altogether. Lofton wouldn't do it.
2-2 delivered to Lofton. Just got a hold of that one and fouled it off to keep his at-bat alive. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Lofton with 2 down on the bases, empty here in the 8th.
Lofton's been the igniter for the Indians. Of course, they traded him away to Atlanta last year. Had some injury problems in Atlanta, leg problems, cut down the number of steals for him. Came back to the American League this year, signed as a free agent with the Indians. Stole 54 bases, but did have some leg problems again.
Brew Crew still working up there, counting David Wells' strikeouts by hanging the mugs. Lofton with a 2-2. Breaking ball. That's popped up. Shallow center. Bernie Williams. That'll do it. He retires the Indians in order. And the Yankees, who now have outscored the opposition 16-1 in postseason. It has been a Yankee night here in Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. Those 5 runs in the first inning staked them to the big lead, and since then it's been Wells 7 strikeouts in the ball game, only 1 walk, and only 3 hits for the Indians, while the Yankees have piled up 7 runs on 10 hits in this game. And we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Inar Diaz has come on to do the catching as Alomar will be taken out, just given a rest here after all the struggle he's had with injuries. And 28-year-old right-hander Paul Shuey comes out of the bullpen. He will be the 5th Cleveland pitcher used in this game. And the first pitch lined over his head by Scott Brocious for a base hit. And that's 11 hits now for the Yankees. And Brocious has picked up 2 of them. He's 2 for 4.
Yeah, we mentioned the Yankee lineup can hammer you from anywhere. Posada has a couple of hits and a walk tonight, including a home run. Brocious has 2 hits and RBI. Posada's driven in 2, so that's the bottom of the order, doing some damage again.
5 out of the 8 innings, the Yankees have had the leadoff man on, increasing their chances of scoring dramatically. Runner at first, and Knobloch, the leadoff batter. Sexton will move behind, and the pitch is taken down low for a ball. For Chuck Knobloch in the ball game, led the game off with a single in the bottom of the first inning. That's his only hit, the 1 for 4. He's now had a couple of hits and 15 at-bats here in the postseason. Shuey working out of the stretch. And off the fist to third. Got a chance for 2, not in time on the relay by Travis Fryman. Knobloch retired. Brocious back to the bag, 1 away.
You might have noticed how gingerly Brocious went back to the bag. Now, he twisted an ankle during the division series, and there was some concern as to whether he might be able to play. But that ankle is heavily taped. It's his left ankle, and he's back in there. You can see his reaction as he gets back to the bag, and it was the similar sort of play in which he was injured in Texas.
Breaking ball to Derek Jeter. They were concerned enough about Scott Brocious that yesterday he went to the hospital, had a CAT scan done on that ankle just to make sure. Huey's breaking ball, that missed inside, and a 2-0 count on Jeter. His 2 singles came in his first 2 at-bats, a run scored. He has now had 3 hits in 13 at-bats in the postseason. Jeter with a runner at first base and 1 down. Inside fastball, ran in. 3-0 on Derek Jeter.
Indians have been very impressed by the young catcher behind the plate, Inar Diaz, who's now catching Paul Shuey. He's known for his very, very strong throwing arm. The Yankees got a taste of it in the last series here. Threw out a couple of runners trying to steal.
The walk surrendered. Puts runners on at first and second.
Young man Diaz is from Panama.
The Yankees now have had 5 walks in the game. That man, David Wells, has given up 1. 2 on, 1 away.
Paul O'Neill. Double, single, 2 runs scored, 2 for 4 in the ball game. Chance to add to it with runners at first and second and 1 out.
O'Neill sets an example for this Yankee team because he never gives an at-bat away. No matter how far the Yankees are behind or ahead in the game, he's up there doing business. So he's got a man in scoring position. He's thinking about getting him home.
We told you he's one of the best at it. 335 with runners in scoring position. Kenny and I were noting that seems to be a favorite number for the Yankees. If you hit over 300 with runners in scoring position, you're among the elite in the game. The Yankees have 3 players, Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, and Tino Martinez, who all hit exactly the same. 335 with runners in scoring position, all 3 of them.
And they happen to be the number 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the lineup.
Oh my.
And they have the 2 guys on base.
All the way to the backstop. Runners will move up as Diaz is going to come back to get it.
And see, that's the reason why Knobloch and Jeter as a tandem lead the league in runs scored, because those guys hit 335 with runners in scoring position. Going to look at this last pitch from Paul Shuey, who that's a definite cross-up. He's looking for something downstairs, and he got something on the top floor. That's comical. A little comic relief for the Indians tonight.
Just a little bit outside and high. Pitching coaches don't think that stuff's so funny.
Well, you know what it is? The runner was at second base, and they got crossed up on the sides.
Well, now there are 2 in scoring position. The infield is drawn in by the Indians, and O'Neill given an even better chance to add to his RBI totals here. He hits the ball hard, even on the ground, a chance to go through the drawn in infield. 2 on, 1 down, 2-2 count on O'Neill. Swung on and missed. Good fastball, maybe down and in. Had some movement on that one. Striking out O'Neill. 2 down.
And Paul Shuey has excellent stuff. Former #1 draft pick of the Indians. But from time to time, they feel that he goes out there and it doesn't seem like he has a purpose. Has a strong arm, good fastball. Looked like a good cutter there that struck out O'Neill. Watch him swing at it, thinking it's a fastball, and right over the top. And he struck out.
That was a dip in the road pitch right there. Wow. So Shuey 2 down. O'Neill retired on the K, and that will bring up Bernie Williams. Williams an RBI double in his last at bat, 2 for 4. 2 RBIs in the game, having come in 0 for 11 in the postseason. Shuey drops that one over the outside corner, strike 1. Chance for Williams to bar the doors. The 7-0 ball game. Base hit here would score 2. Jeter and Brocious on the base paths. High fastball by Shuey, misses 1-1.
One thing you're seeing in Major League Baseball, more and more players out of the collegiate ranks of Paul Shuey, out of the University of North Carolina. School that's basically known for its basketball, but got a pretty good baseball program going down there in Tar Heel country.
That one is taken down low. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Shuey falling behind on Bernie Williams. Well, college ball has improved to the point now where players with just maybe a year or 2 in the minors and sometimes no time in the minors are ready to play at a major league level.
Yeah, what they do is they start them out higher in the minor leagues. After, if you play in a good college program, they feel like it's been like a year in the minors, a year or 2 in the minors.
College schedules now, I mean, some teams in college baseball are playing 80, 90, or 100 games if you count exhibitions and postseason tournaments. It's a lot of baseball games, and they play year-round in the warmer climates where the fine college baseball teams generally are. 2-2 delivery. Up high to him. 3 ball, 2 strike count with 2 down. Scott Brocious edging it off. Derek Jeter. And Bernie Williams trying to bring him home. Shuey looking into Diaz for the side. 3-2 delivery, and he walked it, and the bases are loaded. So even late in the ball game, even the big RBI producers remain very patient. Shuey's on, bases full. Hargrove's Indians, even with 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th, in danger again with Martinez coming up. Don Zimmer has the ear of Torre at all times. Talk about a great partner and bench coach over there. Veteran Don Zimmer, who's managed and been around this game for so many years. A confidant of Joe Torre. Strike one.
Zimmer's celebrating his 50th year in baseball. They actually changed his number underneath that jacket. He now wears number 50 this year.
What a great guy.
One of the best storytellers in the game. He's seen a lot.
Tino Martinez, with the bases loaded during the regular season, was 7 for 15, including 1 grand slam home run. Wells talking with Stottlemyre, the pitching coach. You can smile when it's 7-0. And Martinez will back out on Shuey. Amazing what winning does for the psyche, isn't it? Just kind of relax, take a deep breath, and enjoy the whole thing. And now trouble with the signs. Diaz out.
Remember we talked about the Indian pitchers having to get ahead of the Yankee hitters to be successful. One of the keys in the game. Well, Mark Wiley has seen his pitchers tonight throw 160 pitches, 20 per inning, to the Yankee hitters. You're not going to beat anybody that way.
And it's not even the fact of the number of walks that result from that, Ken. It's how many fat pitches have to be thrown when you get behind in the count. Bases loaded here, and the breaking ball misses. Tino Martinez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yankees have it full. Brocious, lead runner. Jeter's on at second base, and the walk to Bernie Williams loaded him up. See the salami Martinez had. 1 grand slam. That one fouled off. Oh. It's a tough job playing down the lines.
Didn't knock him off his feet, though, did it?
He's going to chase that ball down.
It'll go to some lucky fan.
And he's going to go to the dentist. Caught him on a nasty hop. Up high, 2 ball, 2 strike count on Martinez. Yankees up 7-0. 8th inning, bases loaded and 2 down. Shuey trying to work his way out of trouble. It's the most words spoken by Joe Torre on the bench all year. Breaking ball, swung on, missed. Ball gets away, throw down to first. They get the out. So Shuey with a couple of strikeouts. Yankees leave the bases loaded, no runs on a 1 hit, 3 left on. David Wells, complete game, 3 outs away from it. Tonight's presentation of the 1998 American League Championship Series being brought to you by MasterCard. Welcome back, everybody, in the Bronx, New York, Yankees Stadium. We go to the 9th inning. Yankees have a 7-0 lead. We'll be right back here tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time for Game 2. And we remind you, if you have any questions, comments, we'd love to hear from you. You can log on and do it at www.worldseries.com. David Wells, who led the American League in shutouts with 5, was second in complete games with 8. Scott Erickson of Baltimore had 11 to lead the league. Wells has a chance for a complete game shutout here in Game 1. Joey Cora fouls it back.
Well, this is nothing new to the Cleveland Indians losing Game 1 of a postseason series. This will be the 8th consecutive postseason series in which they have lost the first game. But good news is that they've won their last 4 Game 2s.
That's what Mike Hargrove was counting on.
And Joe Torre mentioned that they're a very resilient team. Joe Torre said Cleveland could look real bad one night and come out and kill you the next.
Yankee fans with their list of inventory. Rangers gone. Indians are going to be down 0-1. fans remaining, and there were 57,138 here at Yankee Stadium. About 30,000 of them have gone. Those here, though, are applauding David Wells. Cora takes the pitch inside. He has walked 1, struck out 7, looking to beat Cleveland for the second time this year. 106 pitches thrown. That's not unusually high for David Wells.
A lot of long faces on that Cleveland bench.
1-2 pitch, and Cora's got a base hit. He climbed the ladder to get to that one. That is the first postseason hit this year for Joey Cora, who had an 0 for 12 prior to that single. Oh, the leadoff man's on.
David Wells tried to pass him upstairs and couldn't get it by the quick bat of Joey Cora. Complete game totals for the 1998 season. Scott Erickson, a workhorse of the Baltimore staff, led the league with 11. Then Wells, Jim Passero, Kenny Rogers, and then Bartolo Colon, who we'll see in this series.
David Justice, 4 singles. That's all the Indians have had in this game. Justice with one of those in his last at bat in the 7th inning.
Indians have not gotten a runner to third base in this game. Only as far as second.
3 base runners have reached second base. That's been it. Chopped foul outside of first by Justice. It'll even the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike. David Justice, Kenny, you were mentioning earlier, has never had much success against the Yankees. He's a very good hitter, but comes to the Yankees, he finds it hard to pick up base hits.
Well, I think it's because he sees pitchers like David Wells and Andy Pettitte, 2 top left-handers. Then if he later on in the bullpen, he gets Mike Stanton, another lefty.
A 188 career hitter against the Yankees, grounds at the second. Knobloch will make the play. He looked to second base, didn't think he was going to get Cora. So Joey Cora advances. Justice retired, 1 down.
Well, in this situation, you take the sure outs, erase those last outs off of the board one at a time. Would have been a tougher play to go to second for the force and try to get the double play. So he goes for the easy out, gets Justice, and there's 1 away.
Manny Ramirez coming up. David Wells with a lot to work with here. 7-run lead, 7-0. Ramirez got his single in his first at bat. Cora's off second base.
They took the pressure off of David Wells. His offense did with 5 runs in the first inning. From that point on, it was just a matter of him, getting the ball over the plate in good spots and continuing to pitch as if it was a 1-0 game, and that's exactly what he's done.
Wells looking for his 6th postseason win. He's 5-1 in postseason games, 4-0 in division games, including a win against Texas this year, and 1-1 in league championship games. And he's not far from another one here. Jim Thome waiting in the hole for Cleveland. 1-0 count, 1 down. Runner at second is Cora. And there'll be no play on this one. Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Ramirez.
And one of the reasons why the Yankees signed David Wells as a free agent because of his record here at Yankee Stadium as a member of the opposition. And he's continued to pitch well here. You mentioned he was 11-1 here this year. And now could be 12 with a win tonight. That bubble's going to burst, at least for tonight.
1-1 delivery. It's the consistency of David Wells this year that most impresses me. I mean, for all professional athletes, to me, that's the sign of greatness. Consistency in a long season. And that's what the Yankees have gotten from David Wells. Joe Torre sent him out there. We mentioned earlier 25-5 in games started by Wells for the Yankees. That is a phenomenal number. 2-1 delivery. Drilled. Mercy. Deep to left field by Ramirez, and it is a fair ball goodbye home run. So in the 9th inning, David Wells loses his shutout, a 2-run homer by Ramirez, 3rd of the postseason, and it is a 7-2 game.
Ramirez hit 2 in 1 game against the Red Sox during the division series, and one of the hottest hitters in the American League in the month of September. We're going to get a new pitcher.
The Joe Torre was going to leave him in, give him a chance to get the complete game shutout. Now that that is gone, and that souvenir was launched up there into the upper deck down the left field line, Wells will lead to a great hand. David Wells, angry he couldn't get the complete game win as Ramirez drilled the home run to bring Joey Cora in ahead of him.
Here's a look at the pitch, and it's in the inner half of the plate. Remember, we said Ramirez, he's been hitting everything. Pitches in, pitches out over the plate. Tried to sneak a fastball in, but he was ready. Now belt tie, and he drills it down the line. It's only a matter whether it stays fair or foul, and this one just fair and into the upper deck here at the stadium.
Launching that one down the line, so Jeff Nelson will be coming out of the bullpen. What a performance, though, by Wells in this game as he goes 8 1/3 innings, giving up only 5 hits and the 2 runs. He walked 1, struck out 7, hit a batter, and surrendered the home run to Ramirez, who continues on that home run tear for the Cleveland Indians. 7-2 ball game now, and Nelson will come on and try and wrap this up.
Jeff Nelson, for a while, been on the disabled list, missed a lot of time this year, but his comeback strong, throwing strikes out of the bullpen, and I think that, you know, being on a disabled list for a while enabled him to freshen up his arm coming down the stretch as he came off the disabled list and threw a lot of strikes and with something on it.
Well, Stottlemyre and Joe Torre had talked about it between innings, who they were going to get up and get ready, and made that decision. And then once the home run was hit, they knew Nelson was the man they were going to bring in. Yankees now have given up 3 runs in playoff games this year, this being the 4th playoff game. But for the Indians, may well be a little bit too late in this one.
Well, we talked about baseball going worldwide for players. Graham Lloyd from Geelong, Australia. Geelong, Victoria, Australia, to be exact. Wanted me to say hello to his parents who are watching tonight's ball game. Noel and Pauline, who are back in Australia enjoying the ball game.
Delighted you could join us here in New York. Lloyd will not need to work here in tonight's game, barring a disaster. Nor will he.
Sometimes you have to go out and get players. Sometimes they come to you.
Via small boats.
Yes.
Off small islands.
What a story.
Travis Fryman, bases cleared with that home run. And Nelson gets the pitch in for a strike. One down.
You can see by his delivery how tough Jeff Nelson is on right-handed hitters, and Joe Torre does not hesitate to go to him. Watch his setup on the mound. Kind of drops down, has a sweeping breaking ball. There it is again. He misses, and the count is 1-1.
As we mentioned, the Yankees had the best ERA for starters in the league. Same holds true for their bullpen. The Yankee bullpen, 3.76 earned run average, was also the best among relievers. So if pitching wins you titles, the Yankees are in pretty good shape. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Travis Fryman. High set position by Nelson, and he misses outside, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike.
Here's a look at the motion from the center field camera. It shows you how he drops down, had a little sink action on that fastball, but missed.
Back, and there's room, and he got it. Sada puts it away. So Nelson gets the foul ball out, and there are 2 down in the 9th inning. So Joe Torre's ball club just 1 out away from wrapping up game 1 in this American League Series. And for Mike Hargrove and the Indians, falling behind 5-0 in the first, never able to regroup as the Yankees sent 10 to the plate, getting 5 runs on 6 hits and knocking the starter Jarrett Wright of the Indians out of the ball game. It worked only 2/3 of an inning. Jim Thome, designated hitter.
You know, from Hargrove's standpoint, you got to think, well, at least nobody got hurt. Start over tomorrow, try and even things up. Year of the broom.
Slider with a lot of action on it, missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Thome. Jim Thome hit by pitches last time, up 0 for 2 in the game. 2 for 17 in postseason, both hits home runs. And another slider that's in there.
Thome has never regained the stroke that he had before he got hit with a pitch and broke his hand. He missed about a month to 6 weeks, and he just hasn't been able to recover and get his stroke back.
Everybody up at Yankee Stadium. Nelson trying to finish it off. 1-2 to Thome, fouled off. It'll stay a ball and 2 strikes.
He threw that one as hard as he could for the middle of the plate. Thome fouled it off.
Obviously not a save situation here with the Yankees on top 7-2. Just a game finish is what Nelson is after. One-two delivery again. Outside to Thome. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Joe Torre's team trying to continue that win streak we talked about, having finished the season with 7 wins. Then a 3-game sweep in the division series. Now a chance for 1 year. Thome takes it away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Andy Pettit will be one of the starters. Game 3 in Cleveland. David Cone, game 2 in New York tomorrow. 3-2 pitch, and it's over. The New York Yankees win it by a score of 7-2, with David Wells coming away with the postseason win, and Jarrett Wright, the starter, working just 2/3 of an inning, takes the loss. Ramirez delivering the home run in the 9th. 2-run shot, putting the only runs up for the Indians, while the Yankees had all kinds of offensive help.
We're going to look at our Pepsi play of the game, and it comes with Travis Fryman at the plate in the 4th inning. This will be the final half of the inning. A tremendous play by Derek Jeter, ranging far to his right, up in the air, to throw across the diamond just in time to get Fryman.
So New York has won it 7-2. They take the lead in the American League Championship Series, 1-0. Game 2 coming up from Yankee Stadium tomorrow, right here. We'll be on the air 4 o'clock Eastern. For Ken Single and Gary Thorne, thanks for joining us. Payback time came at Yankee Stadium tonight. Jarrett Wright, the starter, giving up 5 runs on 6 hits in the first inning. Derek Jeter, both at the plate and in the field, and David Wells just could not be touched. And when you got help like that, it's all the Yankees needed.